China, for that matter, help India? Why China, plays dual role? That China will only recognize the terrorists in Pakistan, but will not be recognizing the terror groups which unleash attack on Indian soil. So that was perhaps said by the Prime Minister Modi at the SCO summit, and in fact, and perhaps which resulted in a mention of the Pahalgam attack in the joint statement of SCO.
All right. Many thanks to you, Siddhant, for bringing us those breaking inputs and adding perspective to that news story. And that's all I have for you in this news edition. Thank you so much for watching. News and Updates continue with my colleague Toya Singh on the other side.
Hello, thank you, Kanksha. You're watching the Breaking News Show right here on CNN News 18. My name is Toya Singh, and in the next 1 hour, we're going to walk you through all of the country's top stories at 11 a.m. on a Friday. Let's check in very quickly with all of the headlines. First, as Rahul Gandhi taps into the Gen Z in a statement in which he says they must protect democracy and the constitution. He said this in a tweet yesterday after his conference. The BJP is now hit back saying Gen Z are against dynastic systems and corruption. We'll bring you more. And in the cricketing world, the ICC is going to be taking action against the Pakistan Cricket Board for multiple violations, including recording Andy Pycroft's video. Down south, Andhra Minister Nara Lokesh slamming DK Shivkumar from Karnataka over a blackmail jibe at the Blackbuck CEO. We'll bring you more right here. And we take you to the story playing out in Uttar Pradesh, where police sources say that shooters involved in the firing outside actor Disha Patani's residence in Uttar Pradesh have now been nabbed. We'll bring you more details. And after Spirit, now Deepika Padukone drops out from Kalki 2898. You remember she had earlier spurred a larger conversation about the need for better work hours, more care for mental health when it comes to actors. And netizens in Delhi and Mumbai are flocking to Apple as iPhone 17 is now on sale. What you're looking at is a scuffle breaking out outside the BKC store. All right, our first story. Congress MP, leader of the opposition, Rahul Gandhi, after the second round of his campaign against alleged vote theft, posted on social media in the evening that the students, youth and Gen Z of the country will save the constitution, protect democracy and stop vote theft. Now, that statement is being looked at as having been connected to what we've just seen play out in Nepal, in our neighborhood. Now, we're going to bring you more context because in a sharp response, the BJP's hit back, stating that Gen Z firmly opposes dynasty politics, corruption, and ideological ambiguity.
नेपाल में, क्या नाम, बांग्लादेश में और श्रीलंका में जो कुछ हुआ, वहां की जनता निकली और भ्रष्टाचार बेईमानी के खिलाफ लड़ी, लेकिन यहाँ के ऊपर कौन निकलेगा? यहाँ भ्रष्टाचार बेईमानी के लिए जनता नहीं निकलेगी। यहाँ के ऊपर यदि कोई निकलेगा तो देशद्रोही निकलेंगे, और याद रखो यदि देशद्रोही यहाँ के ऊपर सड़कों पर निकलेंगे तो राष्ट्रवादी सड़कों पर दौड़ा दौड़ा कर मारेंगे, अगर इस प्रकार की किसी ने भी हिम्मत की।
Okay, next our colleague Payal joins us to bring us more details. Payal, tell us about the BJP counterattack we've seen over these comments in the last few hours.
To begin with, in a couple of hours from now, Ravi Shankar Prasad, former Union Minister for Law and Justice, Government of India will be holding a press conference on behalf of the BJP to call out the bogey as far as the Congress party is concerned, because not once, not twice, but multiple times in his press conference yesterday, Rahul Gandhi specifically made use of the word, saying the youth will, decide what needs to happen. The youth, I'm here to protect democracy, but that's not my job. I'm just doing this so that people can take matters into their own hands. There are enough indications that Nishikant Dubey, also senior member of parliament from the BJP, has come out and hit out at Rahul Gandhi, essentially saying that, are you trying to provoke the youth? Are you trying to create an anarchy of sorts? Do you want to see protests pan out on the streets as well? If that really happens, then the first target will be the Congress party, and he's named the entire a series of family members of the Congress dynastic rule, essentially saying that you've been mired in controversies like corruption, so people will take law. If the people take matters in their own hands, you will be at the receiving end. So he's, of course, threatened Rahul Gandhi not to take matters like this into the public domain, not to instigate people, because the fire is going to come and hit him first before it hits anybody else as well. But these are very, very precarious scenarios, given the fact that we've seen what has happened in our neighboring nation, Nepal, just not too long ago as well. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has constantly made an appeal to people saying peace is the only solution. We should not take matters into our own hands. But what is Rahul Gandhi doing as the leader of the opposition? He's a responsible post, like you mentioned. Of course, his target has been Gyanesh Kumar's election commission. But, to bring in the term Gen Z again, to instigate the youth, that is something which he should not really be doing. That's at least what the BJP has been saying. So it will be important to see how the multi-pronged attack comes in from the BJP, and Ravi Shankar Prasad holds a press conference.
Let's just go over to our colleague Pallavi to understand more. But Payal, thank you for highlighting that we have that press conference that will be taking place to understand more. Pallavi, can you tell our audience a little bit more about the energy right now within the Congress post that meeting and the press announcements that Rahul Gandhi made yesterday, the revelations he shared yesterday? Is there a sense, I want to understand from you, that these, because this was supposed to be explosive breakthroughs, explosive revelations, did the Congress internally feel as if they were indeed explosive? What's the sense right now within the party? And outside it, how has the public reacted to these revelations?
So yeah, there are those people who obviously are Rahul Gandhi's close group and who are his supporters. They have completely gone out. And if you notice, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has just put out a post where she's asking people to join a signature campaign to highlight the vote Chori which is taking place. That's what the mainstream Congress is going to do now, especially those who are in and around Rahul Gandhi, and with Mr. Kharge also, of course, endorsing it. But there's a large silent voice, I would say, within the Congress who are not very comfortable, because they are wondering if the whole vote Chori campaign is actually going to be resonating on the ground. And more than that, is it actually an election issue? I mean, in Bihar, why should they not highlight things like governance issues, law and order issues? They feel that the focus being only on vote Chori, any other topic being raised would become a diversionary tactic, seen as a diversionary tactic, and this suits the BJP. Many Congress voices feel it suits the BJP because they would be loving a focus on vote Chori, where they wouldn't want the focus on local issues, which is on which the parties win and lose elections.
Tell us, Pallavi, if we wanted to understand if this is the end of the explosive revelations. There was that hydrogen bomb statement.
Yesterday, Rahul Gandhi made it very clear, Toya, that this is not the hydrogen bomb which you have been waiting for. I think the bomb which he's really talking about could be indoors, the kind of ground of the Prime Minister. For example, Gujarat is one state which has been the home state of the Prime Minister, according to Rahul Gandhi. There are allegations of vote Chori there as well. That Varanasi is another issue which they are going to take up in the future. So what are they going to do is systematically try and prove in their own mind and in their campaign that the Prime Minister's elections have been rigged. He has been winning elections not because he's popular, but because he has worked hand in glove with the Election Commission to rig the entire electoral process.
If we can go back to our colleague Payal to understand more. Payal, if we just take a look at the recent popularity of Gandhi's set of rallies in Bihar, the Voter Adhikar Yatras, and the statements that we saw Amit Shah, for example, make about them, where he said that this was him taking the side of quote-unquote illegals. But is it fair to say that somewhere it's clear that this issue is resonating with people on the ground, and that's what the BJP has seen, especially, just months before the elections?
Well, I completely agree with what Pallavi has been just saying, because the BJP on ground feels, Toya, that the more the Rahul Gandhi's focus will be on these vote Chori Yatra, etc., the better it is for him. In fact, the BJP government has been in power for quite some time in the state of Bihar. In and out has been Nitish Kumar as well. But Nitish Kumar has been a long-term serving chief minister, which clearly meant that anti-incumbency would have been one issue that could have actually hit him. So the more that Rahul Gandhi focuses on the other issues, the better it is for him. Probably he could have focused on issues like job scarcity, probably could have focused on the issues of inflation, all of that. But Rahul Gandhi has decided to do that. So from the start that Rahul Gandhi, in fact, practically declared the victory of the NDA in the Bihar election, citing various reasons, to the fact that at one point in time, Tejasvi Yadav also came out and said that it is better to boycott the election. All of this is going advantage BJP. That is what the feedback has really been on ground as well. There needs to be a fair assessment of what really needs to be done as well, is what the BJP is essentially saying, given the fact, Toya, that all the rallies or all the programs that Rahul Gandhi and Tejasvi Yadav have been doing have been there in the Muslim-dominated or the minority-dominated areas as well. They are not getting the ground reality fair and square as far as Bihar is concerned. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's focus has completely been on the development of Bihar, and therefore multiple projects have been assigned, in the last budget itself. Multiple projects is what the Prime Minister is expected to, even sort of take up in the run-up to the assembly elections as well. This actually suits the BJP's narrative. At least that is what leaders on ground are telling me.
Okay. Payal and Pallavi, thank you for joining us. Thank you for bringing us these details. Let's take you to a different story playing out internationally now. In a CNN News 18 exclusive news break, what we're bringing you next is details around the US President Donald Trump eyeing Afghanistan, in particular looking at Afghanistan's Bagram air base. We're just going to bring you a little bit more context, but essentially reports indicating that his administration has been quietly pushing national security officials to find a way to get Bagram air base in Afghanistan back from the Taliban. We'll just wait for reporters to join us to bring us more details. This is an airbase that lies an hour north of Kabul. The Taliban took it over following the collapse of the Afghan government and US military withdrawal that took place, you'll remember, back in 2021. Now, for Trump and for his administration, essentially officials believe this base is important for multiple reasons. And we'll bring you more details around what those reasons are, but they include reasons pertinent to both Afghanistan and China. Let's go over to our colleague, Siddhant, who joins us right now to bring us more details. Siddhant, Trump himself had struck a deal with the Taliban back in 2020 during his first term, which had mandated a full withdrawal of US troops from the country. What would this potentially mean? Trying to get this base back, what would it potentially mean for the US? How heavily would they need to be present? Would it mean troops on the ground? Bring us more details.
Well, Bagram Air Base has always been very close to USS's interest in the region. And in fact, now United States wants Afghanistan's Bagram Air Base back. President Trump said yesterday that can't abandon important base to Taliban or any other power. So basically, they are fearing China. So US seeking control of Bagram Air Base, given up in Afghanistan withdrawal. The fear is of China. That pushes Trump to get Bagram Air Base. In fact, top sources are telling to Manoj Gupta that US can't leave open ground to China. US policymaker wants to come back in the Afghanistan. President Trump said that we are trying to get it. One of the reasons we want the base, as you know, it's an hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapon. So as I said, that this base is very strategically located. It is the largest air base in Afghanistan, perhaps has been used by the US forces for decades. And after the withdrawal of the US forces, the Taliban took over this base, and now the Chinese have shown interest in occupying this base, perhaps developing it and using it. Now, Trump has to say that China could make it a nuclear base, and perhaps that's the reason that he wants the base back. Now, Afghanistan's Bagram Air Base served as a linchpin for the United States operation in the rugged country where the long war against the Taliban and their Al-Qaeda allies was fought with airstrikes. In July 2021, all US and NATO troops left Afghanistan's biggest Bagram Air Base. In fact, top intel sources are telling this to Manoj Gupta, that US comeback in Bagram will undermine Pakistan's leverage over the Taliban regime. Islamabad had celebrated the American withdrawal as a strategic victory. This renewed US military presence would dilute ISI's monopoly over Taliban. Taliban will be under stress of relationship balancing between Chinese, Pakistan, Russian, and Iranian. This creates a space for rival factions, ISIS-K. If the US gets Bagram, it directly threatens China's Belt and Road projects and nuclear facilities. Pakistan heavily dependent on Beijing and will be caught in a crossfire between supporting China's strategic depth. Pakistan will be afraid and will be avoiding being seen as obstructing US re-entry. Now, Pakistan doesn't want US to re-enter Afghanistan. That is for sure, because Pakistan knows that if America directly enters Afghanistan and starts speaking to Taliban, perhaps their role will be minimized. And perhaps that is something which Pakistanis don't want. They always want US to rely on Pakistan for whatever they need in Afghanistan. So that is also one angle to it. But right now, we should look at it as a direct rivalry between and a competition between the United States and China, that who gets hold over the Bagram Air Base, because it is strategically located and perhaps it's very, very important for both countries. And with this statement, President Trump has once again made America's intention very clear, that America indeed wants to re-enter Afghanistan. They don't want to abandon Afghanistan.
Okay, Siddhant, can you just lay out for our audience, though, what would the US's strategic plan be here? Would the plan be that they would ask the Taliban and the Taliban may actually make space and give this base back to them? Because the US president has been immensely critical of the manner in which in 2021, the US actually left that base. That base is on the China border with Afghanistan. It was very critical, as you pointed out. And he's been very critical of the Biden administration about the manner in which they handed it over. What is the plan? Do we have any indication of how the US hopes to reclaim the space?
Afghanistan perhaps was to contain Soviet powers in the region. But since the withdrawal of the Soviet power, there was a war in Afghanistan, the manhunt to catch up Osama bin Laden. Now USS's interest in the region, perhaps if they want Bagram back, then is only to contain China. And that is something which everybody understands. And it was Donald Trump under whose first tenure United States and Taliban met in Doha, perhaps which laid the foundation for the withdrawal of US troops in 2021. So President Trump may criticize the withdrawal of the troops, but the fact is that it all started when he was the president of the United States. The talks with Taliban started in Doha when he was the president. So U.S. interest has always been there, and 2 decades back it was to contain Soviet powers. Now it is to contain China.
Okay, if you could just stay with us. Major General A.K. Sivach joins us right now on the phone lines. Sir, thank you for joining us here on the show. So if we could just come over to you to understand a little bit more about how you see this playing out. Question one, and perhaps the question on top of everyone's minds, do you see U.S. troops re-entering Afghanistan?
I think the point is that Bagram airfield system, it is very important for America. There are 4 reasons. One is, no doubt, it can keep a surveillance on Chinese. It can also indirectly keep a surveillance on the central state where the influence of Chinese is increasing. It also able to keep a track on Iran, because in case if US has to use force against Iran again, they need bases both in Afghanistan and Pakistan. So Bagram becomes very important also to ensure that Russia, they can keep the surveillance there. Remember, the Chinese are now to increase China-Pakistan economic corridor in Afghanistan. So Chinese influence in Afghanistan is increasing rapidly. To counter that, they airbase. So one can say strategically this airbase is very, very important. And the way Pakistan economically needs money from IMF, World Bank, they have been fully isolated. There are a number of, so they need America. I think they will establish a compromise. And it looks like that it can come. Possibly US will manage to convince Taliban government to hand over back airfield, which is strategically very important for US, and they will like to have this basis in this region, because today, after they have left, the bases which are left is only in Pakistan.
Okay. General, thank you for joining us here on the show. We are going to take you now to our next story. So let's take you from this story playing out internationally to Mumbai, where the city witnessed chaotic scenes earlier today as a scuffle broke out outside the Apple store in Bandra Kurla. This is the iPhone 17 series hit the shelves in India. Large crowds gathering outside the store since early morning. This has taken place in both Delhi and Mumbai, that you've had long lines gather from early hours to get their hands on the new device. But this is exactly what led to this situation. Amid the heavy footfall, an altercation that you can actually see on the right sides of your screens actually took place between security personnel that were present at the venue. We're just going to bring you more details around it in a second. Remember, there are 4 iPhone models that are being released today. They boast of renewed offerings, and we'll just bring you more details around what this could potentially mean. But just look at on your screens these thousands of people who had gathered to see this take place. The iPhone 17 hitting shelves in India, Delhi and Mumbai both seeing massive queues. Let's just go over to our colleague Preeti Sompura to bring us more details. Preeti, lines everywhere from Saket in Delhi to Bandra Kurla, which is, I think, where you are joining us from in Mumbai. Just tell us a little bit more about the scenes that you've been observing, the scuffle that took place earlier. Has it calmed down? Has the line come a little down, or is it still very long? Tell us.
Currently, I am at the Apple store at the BKC, and you can see the massive crowd is still there. People are standing in a queue since yesterday evening. People are standing since last 22 hours in the queue, and you can see that scuffle started between the two group of people when the Apple store opened in the morning. During that time, two group of people started quarreling each other. The scuffle started, but now the situation is under control. The Mumbai police has reached on the spot and they control the situation. Meanwhile, lots of people are gathered here. They want to buy a new iPhone 17, and especially the orange color and the white color Apple phone is in demand. We have lots of people with us, and you can see a person has already bought the iPhone. You have bought the iPhone. Which one is this?
So this is iPhone 17 Pro, deep blue, 256 GB.
And you like this phone? What are the new features they have added in this time?
So there are many features. One of the feature which I have loved the most, that is the picture-in-picture video shoot. If you're at a if you're at a concert and you want to record the events happening in front of you and want to take a reaction of yourself, you can take both the videos at the same time. And for me, this is a very big jump because I'm switching from iPhone 11 to iPhone 17. So there are many features which have already great for me.
So you have pre-booked this mobile?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
You are standing in queue since last how many hours?
I've been standing for like 3:30 in the morning. Yes.
3:30 in the morning?
Yes, yes. I've stood around at the footpath around 3:30 in the morning.
So you
We'd,
have seen the
Preeti,
people
we'd love to understand why he finally decided to go for a new model. Preeti, if you're able to hear us, we'd love to ask him why he finally decided to go for a new iPhone from iPhone 11, why he waited so long.
So, like, why you waited so long? You have switched from iPhone 11 to iPhone 17.
So I had some plans. I was not ready to switch from 11 to 17 because
Why?
I had some many reasons. I had my DSLR. I shoot reels. I create content, but I have a DSLR. I thought carrying DSLR is a big hassle, so I just thought of getting an iPhone 17, which is a great thing for me now.
So you are an iPhone lover, Apple lover.
Yes, I am.
Which other products you are using?
So I own AirPods Pro, and I also have a MacBook Air.
And this time the AirPods features are also very new, especially they translate into the language, and so many other features are also.
Yes, absolutely. I really like the fact when Apple introduced the AirPods where you can translate using the Apple Intelligence. If someone is speaking in their own native language, if you don't understand, the Apple Intelligence translates those in your AirPods. That is a very crazy update in it.
So like here lots of people are still that they are standing in the queue and they are eagerly want to buy a new iPhone 17. You can see the lots of people are there. They are waiting for a new iPhone, and meanwhile the Mumbai police team has also been deployed. Even the private security guard has also been deployed inside the Apple store.
Preeti, we'll just come back to you. A lot of excitement. We must ask more questions. We'll just go over to Akash. So we brought you the picture from BKC in Mumbai. Let's go over to our colleague Akash Sharma, who's joining us from right here in Delhi. Akash, you're, I think, at the Saket store in Delhi. Probably a lot of excitement. But tell us, what feature are people most excited about? Why are they standing there for that phone?
Cosmic orange variant is something, that is creating a lot of excitement among people. We see almost every year, Toya, that how, there are lines outside the outlets where people are excited about the new variants. And this year is no different, where, in some time from now, we are going to see, in fact, all of them going inside and getting their units. This is the line that I'm showing you from Select City Mall, Saket, where outside, the Apple outlet, all of them have been waiting for their unit. We have been told that all of them have got, the slots, and at that particular time, they are going to get inside and get their variant. I'll try to talk to some individuals as well as to when it is about, their unit or their iPhone. So what is the kind of feature that they are excited about, and also as far as color is concerned. First of all, I'm showing you this particular line. I'll talk to some individuals where what is the kind of color that they are waiting for, and also the features. Sir, what's your name? आपका नाम क्या? पहले मेरे को बताएं.
Hello, I'm Arjun.
Arjun, from where you are coming?
We are coming from Modi Nagar.
And Modi Nagar?
Yeah, that's correct.
In Ghaziabad?
Yeah.
All right. And since when you have been standing here?
It's around 15 minutes we have been standing here.
And which variant you are going to buy? One question. And secondly, what is that feature that you're excited about?
So we are buying the 17 Pro and the Pro Max. One in Cosmic Orange and one in Deep Blue.
Okay. And the features that you're excited about?
So first of all, the design is new. So it's been a long years that it has been changed. So yeah, we are really excited about that. Also, the feature that they show about the ceramic shield too that they launched. I'm really excited about that because the iPhone, that's so durable. And what they will be next, we are so excited about.
So is it a regular affair for you? I mean, every year you come for a new variant, or it is happening after 3-4 years?
It's every year.
It's every
year.
year.
It's every year.
And what is the thought process behind getting the iPhone on the very first day, on the inaugural day?
Yeah, because the excitement is real on that day. Everyone is so excited about it, and getting around the first day shows your desperation about the company.
Right.
That you're really excited about.
And there is a buzz that the existing models and the software is has become slow in the recent days, and that is also a reason why people want to go for a new one.
Yeah, because Apple has a good trade-in value of their old phone as well. That's also a reason of buying the new phone, because you get the new phone almost half of its value, original value, by trading in.
मैम, व्हाट्स योर नेम? आप कहाँ से आ रहे हैं?
रिया गुप्ता.
आप तो पूरी फैमिली आई है साथ में, तो एक फोन तीनों लेने वाले?
या.
ऑलराइट सर, आप कहाँ से आए हैं?
फ्रॉम मेहरौली, कुतुब मीनार मेहरौली.
मेहरौली से. कब बुक किया था आपने?
कल किया है.
कल किया है. और कितने बजे का स्लॉट है?
11 बजे.
और कितना रुपया देने वाले हैं और किस वेरिएंट के लिए देने वाले हैं?
बताना पड़ेगा अमाउंट.
अगर बताना चाहें
कितना है अमाउंट? और 80 के आसपास.
80 के आसपास. और हर साल आते हैं यहाँ पे या फिर इस बार आए हैं?
किस लिए?
आईफोन खरीदने के लिए, नया वेरिएंट खरीदने के लिए हर साल आते हैं, या इस बार 17 के लिए आए हैं? 17. All right. So they have got different stories, Toya, but everyone is excited for this particular variant also because of the fact that there are some sort of changes that have been introduced by Apple this time around. And we have a long queue, but the management is very good, and in fact all of them have been given time slots. In fact, one or two individuals have returned because they were saying that the sort of variant that they wanted to purchase has already sold off. And this time around, while we have a number of individuals, the good part is that unlike Mumbai, here we have no chaos at all here in Select City Mall, and they say that management is so good that all of them know that in how many minutes or hours they are going to get inside the store and are going to get their unit. So yeah, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Akash. Thank you for bringing us all of those very, very excited voices coming in from Delhi, and earlier Preeti from Mumbai. We're going to head into a quick break. On the other side, more of the country's top stories. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
BJP's Prahlad Joshi, the Union Minister, has taken a jibe at the leader of the opposition, says Rahul Gandhi's new fairy tale is vote Chori. After his failed attempt on his vote Chori allegations, which was debunked and exposed, Rahul Gandhi has now chosen to not learn from earlier mistakes. The Election Commission of India has clearly denied his baseless claims, reaffirming that no votes can be deleted online after losing 20+ elections on EVMs. Maybe it's not the machine, it's the Congress that's faulty. Strong words coming in from Prahlad Joshi, Union Minister. I'm joined by my colleague Payal Mehta on the broadcast to get more details, given the fact that the war of words only escalating after Rahul Gandhi's second presentation. Payal, over to you.
Ayushman, a very important point being made by Union Minister Prahlad Joshi, who is incidentally also from Karnataka. He hails from Dharwad. He is incidentally reminding Rahul Gandhi that 2 days back, when the Congress, which had won the assembly seat in Malur in Karnataka, was disqualified by the High Court of Karnataka because of election malpractice and fresh counting of votes that has also been ordered. The real vote chore is the Congress party. That's the strong attack coming in. As far as Prahlad Joshi is concerned, remember, Prahlad Joshi is saying that Rahul Gandhi has not learnt a single lesson after having lost
20 plus elections, blaming it either on the EVMs or on anybody else. It is the Congress which is faulty and not anybody else. So stinging attack coming in from Prahlad Joshi, a union minister in the Modi government, a multiple-time MP from Karnataka, and somebody who's been Karnataka's voice for a very, very long time. So he's saying that Rahul Gandhi has has yet again attention chori, and that's the reason he has not learned from his previous mistakes.
Right. Thank you, Payal, for getting us that piece of breaking news. So the war was only escalating between the two sides after Rahul Gandhi's strong allegations of vote chori by the Election Commission. BJP's Prahlad Joshi, the union minister, has taken a jibe at the leader of the opposition, says Rahul Gandhi's new fairy tale is vote chori. After his failed attempt on his vote chori allegations, which was debunked and exposed, Rahul Gandhi has now chosen to not learn from earlier mistakes. The Election Commission of India has clearly denied his baseless claims, reaffirming that no votes can.
Welcome back. You're watching the breaking news show right here on CNN News 18, and we're actually taking you to a story that's playing out as we speak, where a major security breach has occurred at actor-turned-politician Vijay's Nilankarai residence. The intruder has been identified. The intruder was found sitting on the terrace. We just bring you more details around this story. Now, the intruder has been nabbed by Chennai police already. And we'll bring you more details around it because the TVK chief has now urged police commissioners to investigate the need for more security. Also, let's just go over to our colleague Purnima to understand more. Purnima, what has the police been able to piece together about the intruder? I believe his name was Arun.
Well, they've detained a 24-year-old man named Arun. What happened was police investigation reveals that Arun, the 24-year-old man, had tried to enter Vijay's house via backdoor. And police also say that it was his son who had spotted Arun, and then the police detained him and took him for further investigation. However, there's been security breach at Vijay's house, and Vijay had also asked the police commissioner to look into this. And then the bomb squad team was in place. They did a thorough check, and then they did not find anything inside the house, and the man was detained. Further investigation is on.
All right, Purnima, thank you for bringing us these details. Okay, Purnima, if we could ask you a little bit more over here, if we wanted to understand in this entire story, you've already told us how the police have investigated this, but the TVK leader, how has he reacted to this breach taking place?
Well, actor Vijay has been provided wise security ever since he announced his political entry. He's been given the wise security, and there's always a security presence in his house. Despite that, the security breach had taken place, and especially at a time when Vijay is planning statewide yatra, and he's been traveling around the state to meet the people. Another such security breach at his residence had in fact raised eyebrows, which is why Vijay had also personally asked the police commissioner to investigate this thoroughly and to check as to what really happened. However, the 24-year-old man who tried entering Vijay's house via the back door was spotted by Vijay's son, and later he was detained. His name is Arun. He's a 24-year-old man. He's from Madurandagam, and police say that the investigation is on. But a thorough check was done after Arun had entered Vijay's house. However, at the moment, police say that they did not find anything fishy, and they are questioning him after detaining him.
Okay, and we do also want to understand from you, Purnima, is this the first time that the actor-turned-politician has seen a threat like this take place near his residence?
Absolutely. In the recent time, this is the first time that somebody had entered Vijay. There's always security provided. He's given wise security, and therefore there's always security presence. It's not easy for anybody to enter the house given the kind of security for the actor turned politician, and that's why Vijay also had sought a thorough investigation into this. And what we are understanding from sources that The 24-year-old man, he's been detained, he's been questioned. After that, thorough checks were done at Vijay's residence. This residence is located on the East Coast Road, but police say that they haven't found anything suspicious so far. The man has, however, been detained and further investigation is on. But this is the first time that this is taking place.
All right, Purnima, thank you for bringing us these details. Okay, we're going to be heading into a quick break. On the other side, more of the country's top stories continue. This is the Breaking News Show on CNN News 18.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
BJP's Prahlad Joshi, the Union Minister, has taken a jibe at the leader of the opposition, says Rahul Gandhi's new fairy tale is vote Chori. After his failed attempt on his vote Chori allegations, which was debunked and exposed, Rahul Gandhi has now chosen to not learn from earlier mistakes. The Election Commission of India has clearly denied his baseless claims, reaffirming that no votes can be deleted online after losing 20-plus elections on EVMs. Maybe it's not the machine, it's the Congress that's faulty. Strong words coming in from Prahlad Joshi, Union Minister. I'm joined by my colleague Payal Mehta on the broadcast to get more details, given the fact that the war of words only escalating after Rahul Gandhi's second presentation. Payal, over to you.
Ayushman, a very important point being made by Union Minister Prahlad Joshi, who is incidentally also from Karnataka. He hails from Dharwad. He's incidentally reminding Rahul Gandhi that 2 days back, when the Congress, which had won the assembly seat in Malur in Karnataka, was disqualified by the High Court of Karnataka because of election malpractice and fresh counting of votes that has also been ordered. The real vote chore is the Congress party. That's the strong attack coming in. As far as Prahlad Joshi is concerned, remember, Prahlad Joshi is saying that Rahul Gandhi has not learnt a single lesson after having lost 20-plus elections, blaming it either on the EVMs or on anybody else. It is the Congress which is faulty and not anybody else. So, stinging attack coming in from Prahlad Joshi, a Union Minister in the Modi government, a multiple-time MP from Karnataka, and somebody who's been Karnataka's voice for a very, very long time. So, he's saying that...
Welcome back. You're watching the Breaking News Show on CNN News 18, and we're taking you right now to developments taking place in the UK, where Nirav Modi has moved the Westminster Court against his extradition. He's filed an application last month. Indian government officials and the legal teams are yet to send a response to London. The development comes, remember, after the UK Crown Prosecution Service visited the Tihar jail for inspection. Now, we're just going to bring you more details around this, but the Indian fugitive has filed a fresh appeal in a UK court to delay his extradition to India. Remember, he faces charges of defrauding a bank. Let's go over to our colleague Ananya Bhatnagar to understand more on this. Ananya, tell us this. How likely is it, according to legal experts, that this appeal could be heard out in UK courts?
Well, definitely this application could be heard out in the UK court, and this was actually filed last month, and this was right after the UK Crown Prosecution Services actually visited. These are subsequent developments that are taking place that UK Crown Prosecution Services visited Tihar jail for inspection, wherein it was shown how there have been several arrangements that have been made as far as bringing out fugitives is concerned. There is a special a place where these people who are extradited back to India could be kept with proper facilities and to honor, in fact, the extradition treaties is what, in fact, the Crown Prosecution Services had been told. Remember that this Nirav Modi's ninth bail application was actually turned down by the UK court last month. And that, post that he had now moved, in fact, to the Westminster Court seeking, in fact, an order against his extradition back to India. So how would all of this play up? When would Nirav Modi come back? Is only something that time can tell us. But this is a huge development as far as the fugitive economic offender is concerned.
Modi, his team has gone so far as to argue that he could face torture during any interrogations. How has the government proved that that will not be the case?
This had been taken care of by the High Court as well. The UK High Court had also noted, while turning down the request for extradition, had very categorically stated that Nirav Modi could be tortured, and there have been several concerns about human rights violations, and only post that the Crown Prosecution Services had visited, in fact, the Tihar jail, wherein it was shown the kind of arrangements that is made as far as honoring these extradition treaties are concerned. And very clearly, the Crown Prosecution Services was satisfied by the Indian government that there could be no kind of a torture that could actually happen on people who are extradited back to India. Remember that recently from the US, Tagore Rana was extradited back to the country, and in fact that is something that makes it all the way more crucial as far as the UK authorities are concerned, because if Nirav Modi is brought back to India, then this is in fact something that the government had been banking on for quite a while. Now, finally, Nirav Modi also making the last attempt in order to get, in fact, the last rebate from the High Court or the fact that the court itself.
Okay, thank you for bringing us those details. Let's take you, our audience, now to a different story altogether. As Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal seems to be exuding confidence in the ongoing trade discussions with the United States. He's affirmed positive progress and strong bilateral relations. This was an exclusive conversation with CNN-News18. He said both countries are heading in the right direction. Now, let's also take a look at another set of comments that have been coming in. We'll take a look right now at India's Chief Economic Advisor, V. Ananta Nageswaran, and what he's had to say. He spoke to us echoing that same optimism. He suggested 25% tariff imposed by the US in August could be reduced to between 10 and 15% in the next few months. Take a look at these conversations.
Considering recent developments in the last couple of weeks and so on, I do believe, I have no particular basis to say so, and just my intuition, that the penal tariff will not be there beyond November 30th. I mean, it's not a statement of based on any concrete indicator or evidence. It's my hope that given the recent development which we see in terms of both countries finding an off-ramp and reaching out to each other, and including the important negotiator being in India in the first 2 days of this week, I do believe that there will be a resolution in the next couple of months on the penal tariff and hopefully on the reciprocal tariff also.
यूएस के साथ डील थोड़ा शिद्दत से नहीं चाह रहे हैं आप, क्योंकि कायनात वहां काम करती हुई नहीं दिख रही? इफ आई मे आस्क यू दैट।
आपको गलतफहमी हो रही है। बड़ी अच्छी सार्थक बातचीत चल रही है। अभी असिस्टेंट यूएसटीआर आके गए हैं, अच्छी चर्चा हुई है, ठीक दिशा में जा रही है, और मुझे लगता है कि भारत और यूएस नेचुरल पार्टनर्स हैं, मित्र देश हैं, हम दोनों के बीच संबंध एकदम मजबूत है।
So you are hopeful of visiting Washington soon?
तो जब समय आएगा आपको बता देंगे।
Greetings from Abu Dhabi. Quickly, we caught up with Piyush Goyal ji on the sidelines, who's spoken on the US trade talks and the tariffs, as far as the tariffs are concerned. And Piyush Goyal very clearly saying that Dasha or Disha is in the right direction. That means that the state and also the direction of the talks is in the positive and it is moving forward to a fruition. I pointedly asked him whether or not he would be making a trip to Washington soon. And he was hopeful that that would also happen. But more importantly, he wanted to impress upon the growing Indo-UAE ties, which he said are only going to get stronger and stronger. And outside of oil and minerals, if they want to develop the relationship to 100 billion in the next 3 years, that's a tough ask, but a possible one and a doable one. That's what the stiff targets that have been set.
All right, let's take you now to a different story. Politics playing out after Pakistan and Saudi Arabia signed a strategic mutual defense agreement in Riyadh a few days ago, stating that any attack on one would be considered an attack on both. The Congress has expressed serious concern over this deal, calling it a major setback for the Prime Minister's diplomacy and warning of grave implications for India's national security, with Congress leader Jairam Ramesh highlighting recent tensions, noting that US President Donald Trump hosted Pakistan's Field Marshal Asim Munir, whose statements were linked to past terror attacks in India. further complicating and making more serious concerns around this. The defense pact signals closer military ties between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia, and it does raise several security questions. We're just going to play out what it is that has come in the form of reactions, then we'll go over to reporters.
प्रधानमंत्री का 75th बर्थडे बुर्ज खलीफा में बहुत ब्यूटीफुली मनाया गया। मोहम्मद बिन सलमान ने भी, यानी सऊदी अरेबिया एक और खाड़ी देश है, जिन्होंने उनको विश किया। काफ़ी हमारी अच्छी दोस्ती है, लेकिन आज वहाँ एक डिफेंस कोऑपरेशन पाकिस्तान के साथ है, तो ये इस रीजन में कुछ खलल तो नहीं पैदा करेगा इन टर्म्स ऑफ ट्रेड इक्वेशंस, रिलेशंस, आपसी म्यूचुअल संबंध?
मुझे इसकी ज्यादा जानकारी नहीं है, मैं तो अपनी मीटिंगों में था यूएई में
जी, पर
इतना जरूर कह सकता हूँ कि भारत के संबंध यूएई के साथ बड़े मजबूत है और कोई भी इस संबंध को खराब नहीं कर सकता या अफेक्ट नहीं कर सकता। भारत के संबंध हर देश के साथ अच्छे हैं, हर देश के साथ अपने पायदान पे खड़े रहते हैं और इसकी ज्यादा जानकारी तो फॉरेन ऑफिस से लेते हैं।
All right, let's go to our colleague Siddhant to understand more. Siddhant, we just heard from the interview what it is that the union minister had to say. He said that our relationship with Saudi Arabia has been strong, very strong, in fact, for decades. But Siddhant, help us understand. Wednesday's signing does represent Pakistan's most consequential formal defense commitment in decades. So where does that leave how India sees itself and how the External Affairs Ministry sees this development?
Well, Toya, it is very important to understand, and perhaps this is the view which I am picking from many strategic experts, that definitely, the way India did manage to outmaneuver Pakistan in Gulf was commendable. And before Operation Sindoor, till Operation Sindoor, perhaps that outmaneuvering existed, and perhaps the kind of support that the Gulf countries extended to India after the Pahalgam terror attack. In fact, Prime Minister was very much in Saudi Arabia, and in fact, Pahalgam confinement, the joint released by both the countries in Saudi Arabia at that point in time, extended all help to India. Now, since what Pakistan is doing, Toya, that they are taking help of Americans to re-enter the region, the same region from where India outmaneuvered them. So they have come up with the idea of Islamic NATO. They are increasing their engagements with the Gulf nations. Now they have signed the defense agreement. But also very important to understand the context behind it. It is not that the first time both these countries are cooperating in defense and security matters. They have been doing it since 1970. In fact, 2,000 Pakistani army personnel are already stationed in Saudi Arabia. So I personally look at this particular agreement, the view that to bring Pakistani army into the fight against the rebels, and also to get nuclear insurance for the Saudi Arabia in the wake of Israel's attack in Doha. So I look at it like that. It is more symbolic, and also it is what Pakistanis are doing with the help of Americans to re-enter the region. So it is their first step. So India is definitely taking note of it. India is also studying this agreement and the implication it has on India's national security. But opposition also needs to understand this, that India's relationship with Saudi Arabia is brilliant. In fact, Saudi Arabia officials said that they value this relationship. There's a lot of sovereign funds which flows into India in terms of investment. IMAC project, the personal equation between Crown Prince and Prime Minister Modi. So definitely India is taking a note, and India will also be raising this issue, perhaps with India.
Okay, Siddhant, stay with us. We're just going to come over to you for our next story too. We take you to a story playing out right now in Central Asia, as we're learning that India's strategic gateway to Afghanistan and Central Asia, the Chabahar port, this is in Iran, faces mounting challenges. The US has revoked sanctions. These are sanction exemptions previously granted under the Iran Freedom and Counter-Proliferation Act. What this moves, because this is a move that will be effective in September, the end of September, and it could risk exposing Indian operators at the port to US penalties. Serious questions about the future of one of India's most important regional connectivity projects projects will now be raised. Remember, this move will impact India's plans to develop the port too. It's an Indian state-run company that is engaged in the development of a terminal in the Chabahar port. And India looks at this port as an important project in the context of regional trade and connectivity initiatives. The US has essentially decided to revoke these sanctions exemptions. They were linked to Iran's Chabahar port and they were issued in 2018. Let's go to our colleague Siddhant to understand a little bit more around this and its implications on India. Iran, let's just go to Siddhant. Siddhant, it was just in May that India and Iran signed a 10-year agreement linked to this port. Just bring us more details in terms of how experts see this potentially impacting India.
Well, this port is very, very important for India. In fact, it's a strategic, asset of India in Iran. Strategically, this port is very important. In fact, there are many operators on this port, Toya, for the viewers' sake. One of the operators is India Ports Global Limited. This is a company which operates Shahid Beheshti Terminal. So this Indian company is one of the players, one of the operators of the Chabahar port. So in 2018, there was a sanction exemption which was granted by the United States for the Chabahar port. And this exemption was given under the Iran Freedom and Counter-Proliferation Act for Afghanistan reconstruction and assistance and economic development. So for the development of Afghanistan, etc., this sanction was granted. Now US has revoked this sanction. So all the operators working in Chabahar will be affected, those who will continue to operate after 29th September. So definitely it's going to be the setback for the Indian company also, which is run inside the history document. And as you rightly pointed out, last year there was a new agreement which was signed between India and Iran. India pledged more money for the development of the Shahid company. And it is very strategically, how it is strategically important for India, because it is seen as a counterbalance to Pakistan's Guddar port, which is being run by Chinese companies. Also, Toya, very important to highlight that in the past, India did use this port, activated this port to send humanitarian assistance, relief material to the Afghanistan. So for the purpose of which this port was exempted from the US sanction, perhaps India has largely used this port for the same purpose, to extend support to Afghanistan, relief materials to Afghanistan. But now Americans have to say that that there is this illicit money being routed through this port, as you know, Iranian crude is being shipped from this port, and IRGC and the Iranian government is being benefited, etc., etc. So, making this ground, they have revoked the sanction which was granted. So definitely, it's a big setback for the Indian company, Indian operator working in Chabahar port. It is perhaps developing Chabahar port, and we are still awaiting response from the Ministry of External Affairs on it.
Thank you for bringing us that context, Siddhant. Okay, let's take you now to a different story altogether. The ICC likely to take action against Pakistan for the violation of multiple tournament rules prior to the Asia Cup match against the UAE that was delayed, remember, by the Pakistani side to protest the world body's rejection of its demand to remove the match referee Andy Pycroft. The ICC, that is, of course, the International Cricket Council, has shot off an email to the Pakistan Cricket Board citing misconduct and multiple violations of the players and match officials. Era protocol before the game held on Wednesday. You remember there was a lot of high drama, confusion and extreme certainty before the Pakistan-UAE Asia Cup game eventually went ahead. We'll continue to bring you more details on this. But right now we are switching focus from this cricketing story to an entirely different one. Okay, we're taking you right now to a story playing out around Rahul Gandhi's vote Chori press conference. We're learning that Anjani Mishra, a UP man from Prayagraj, has now alleged harassment after his number was flashed in the presser. We'll just look to understand the story in more details. But we saw that presser play out yesterday. Rahul Gandhi making a number of very serious accusations against the BJP, saying that in particular, and this was not against the BJP, I'm sorry, this was against the Election Commission. He made a number of very particular comments. For one, he said that it was groups that would not typically have voted for the party in power, groups like the SCs, STs, that were specifically targeted by the Election Commission, by its working through this vast network. He made the allegations specifically in the state of Karnataka. You remember that yesterday on the stage, he brought on people who actually said they came up on stage and talked about their own account, and on a number of different accounts were made or votes were given in their name. So this was a long presentation that actually took place yesterday. Rahul Gandhi even fielding questions from reporters who asked him more about where this was taking place and why. Essentially what he argued, what Rahul Gandhi argued, was that it was in the regions where the Congress would typically have won that this vote chori took place. He said that the deletion of votes took place. He said that non-Karnataka contacts were used to delete these votes. So this was a vast set of allegations that the Congress leader made yesterday. This was on his stage. And you remember, this is just part of what he said are a larger set of revelations that he's going to be making. We've been playing out for you each of these allegations. And you remember, as we keep this focus, that Gandhi also ended the press conference by saying that this was not the end, that there would be more allegations that he would be making, what he called the so-called hydrogen bomb of allegations. He said he'd reveal more numbers around exactly how this vote chori has been taking place. And he begun by saying, I love the Constitution, I love a democracy, and I support our country. It's a similar message that he echoed later in the day yesterday, where he put out a statement on Twitter where he talked about Gen Z, and in that statement he said that it's the youth that's going to protect the Constitution, it's the youth that's going to protect the democracy. We're just going to bring you more details here. We'll just bring you more information on this entire story and the person who's making the allegation that they were harassed. This is a UP man who has essentially said that he's been getting non-stop calls after his number was flashed in this presser. He's made this statement in Prayagraj. Anjani Mishra came forward. Basically, in the press conference, Rahul Gandhi had essentially led this press conference you'd seen, and you'd seen the screen behind him. Apparently, it's in that screen, the allegation is being made that a mobile number was shown. And Anjani Mishra from Prayagraj has said that this was his number that was shown in the conference. And he's since been getting multiple calls. Now, whether or not that allegation is true, what the larger story around this is, we'll have reporters joining us to bring us more details around this. But this was one incident that took place amid a larger conference that, as we told you, took place yesterday, in which Rahul Gandhi made this set of accusations. Anjani Mishra said that he'd owned this phone number for 15 years. He lives in Prayagraj, and that he was receiving calls non-stop. He said that he had not filed any application for voter deletion and was surprised to see his number mentioned at the press briefing that took place yesterday. We'll continue to bring you more details. We are awaiting as reporters join us. Arun, tell us exactly what happened here, please.
Well, see, yesterday, Rahul Gandhi held a press conference on that vote theft allegations, and there was a number which was shown in that press conference. Now, we're given to understand that this number happens to be of a resident of Prayagraj, Anjani Mishra, and now he's accusing that he's getting lots of calls from people and asking him about that number which was flashed in Rahul Gandhi's press conference. So he accused Rahul Gandhi of wrongly showing his number during that press conference, and he also accused Rahul Gandhi of doing this fake narrative. He's somebody who has been, in fact, getting lots of calls from people inquiring about it, and he's
okay, we're actually just going to go over to Anjani, so stay with us, please. Arun, we'll come back to you when we have more questions around this same story. Anjani Mishra joining us live. Anjani जी, हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए धन्यवाद. Anjani जी, पहले आप हमें ये बता सकते हैं कि आपका फोन नंबर जब फ्लैश किया उस स्क्रीन पे, उसके बाद क्या हुआ? अंजनी जी,
तो जो हमारे फेसबुक,
अच्छा, बोलिए, आपकी आवाज कट रही थी, बोलिए.
मैम, मेरा जब व्हाट्सएप पे और ग्रुप में जब मुझे मेरा नंबर शेयर करने लगे तो मुझे लगा, पहले तो लगा फ्रॉड कुछ है, लेकिन जब बाद में मैंने वेरीफाई किया राहुल गांधी जी के प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में, तो लगा कि ये हमारा नंबर है और हमारा नंबर भाई गलत तरीके से दिखाया जा रहा है, जो कि हम कभी महाराष्ट्र बहुत ज्यादा गए हुए भी नहीं है.
हमें ये बताइए सर, पूरे दिन आपको कॉल्स आ रहे थे, आज भी आ रहे हैं, ये कहा जा रहा है, आप बता सकते हैं ये सच है?
जी मैम, मेरा किसी ने मीडिया में नंबर पूरा शेयर कर दिया, तो पब्लिक बहुत ज्यादा हैवी कॉल अटेंड करना पड़ा। कल से बहुत ज्यादा परेशानी हो रही है, अपना काम बहुत ज्यादा जो भी काम करते हो डिले हो रहा है, और इतना हैवी कॉल, फ्रॉड कॉल भी ज्यादा आ रहे हैं, अननोन कॉल अब बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ गया है, इसलिए हमको बहुत सारा दिक्कत हो रहा है।
आपने अपनी तरफ से सर किसी भी प्रवक्ता, कांग्रेस के लीडर, आपके जो जिले में जो भी पॉलिटिकल लीडर हो, बीजेपी या कांग्रेस, उन्हें कांटेक्ट करने की कोशिश की है? उनका क्या कहना था इस पे?
मैम, हमने किसी को कांटेक्ट करने की जरूरत, मतलब कि कभी हम किसी से जुड़े हैं नहीं, तो कांटेक्ट भी हमने नहीं किया है।
अच्छा।
इसीलिए थोड़ा सा दिक्कत भी हो रहा है, इसलिए हम जो है मीडिया से बातचीत हुआ है।
बट कांग्रेस से आपके लिए कोई अपॉलॉजी या ऐसा कुछ, कोई
नहीं,
स्टेटमेंट?
कोई स्टेटमेंट नहीं आया मैम।
अच्छा, और हमें ये बताइए सर, अभी आपको शायद आपने पुलिस को कांटेक्ट किया है? बिकॉज आई एम श्योर इतना जो हैरेसमेंट चल रहा है, आपको बार बार कॉल आ रहे हैं।
नहीं मैम, पुलिस को अभी तो नहीं, लेकिन आज हम तहरीर देंगे, एप्लीकेशन देंगे कि ये हमारे साथ स्कैम हुआ है, जो कि हम कभी महाराष्ट्र गए ही नहीं है, तो लेकिन हमारा नंबर शो हो रहा है वोटर पैग में।
ओके, एंड अंजनी जी, नेक्स्ट स्टेप क्या है? आप केस फाइल करेंगे? आप क्या करेंगे अब?
जरूर मैम, सलाह लेके अपना जो भी होगा हम करेंगे, अपना क्या करना है उसको पहले, लेकिन तो एप्लीकेशन तो आज हम देंगे ही अपने नजदीकी जो पुलिस चौकी है।
ओके, एंड हमें ये भी बताइए सर, जो कॉल्स आ रहे हैं आपको, क्या कह रहे हैं? आर दीज ऑल कॉल्स फ्रॉम रैंडम पीपल जिन्होंने आपका नंबर स्क्रीन पे देखा?
हाँ मैम, बहुत ज्यादा कुछ कॉलें आ रही हैं कि आप जो FIR है मत कराइए, और ये सब बहुत सारे तरीके से कि ऐसा मत करिए, और यही सब आ रहे हैं मैसेज।
हमें और बताइए सर, क्या कहा है लोगों ने आपसे जब वो आपको कॉल
लोगों ने मैंने कहा कि ये बहुत गलत होगा, आप उसको FIR मत करिए, दिक्कत हो जाएगी, यही सब बहुत सारे मैसेज मतलब कॉल पे बता रहे हैं।
एंड आपने अभी सोचा है सर, आपका नेक्स्ट स्टेप क्या है?
नेक्स्ट स्टेप यही है मैम कि मैं पहले एप्लीकेशन उसको जानकारी के लिए दूंगा कि हमारे साथ ऐसा हो रहा है।
हाँ।
और काफी भाई निष्ठा का हमारा भाई अधिकार हमारा भी है, उसमें दिक्कत हो रही है भाई, हमारा ऐसे ही नंबर भाई सार्वजनिक कर दिए हैं, तो उससे हमको दिक्कत ही हो रही है।
और हमें ये भी बताइए सर, ये
नंबर है,
वही आपसे पूछना था, ये नंबर आपके साथ कितने सालों से जुड़ा हुआ है?
मैम ये नंबर मैंने 15 साल से करीब हम यूज कर रहे हैं। 15 साल से ना तो कोई एप्लीकेशन, न तो कोई शिकायत, ना कभी पुलिस स्टेशन। इस नंबर के खिलाफ मुझे कोई भी कभी कुछ कंप्लेन ही नहीं आया, और ना कोई शिकायत है। 15 साल से मैं लगातार इस नंबर को ऑन कर रहा हूँ।
माय गॉड, सो 15 साल से आप इस नंबर का यूज कर रहे हो। कल एक वो प्रेजेंटेशन में वो नंबर आया, और उस प्रेजेंटेशन के बाद
प्रेजेंटेशन में मेरा पूरा
उस प्रेजेंटेशन के बाद आपको बार-बार
पूरा
आप कह रहे हो,
मैम बदल गया, सिस्टम पूरा बदल गया है।
हाँ, ओके सर, हम ये भी जानना चाहते हैं आपसे, अभी हमने आपसे ये पूछा कि क्या आपने कांग्रेस या बीजेपी के किसी भी प्रवक्ता से बात कर रहा है? आपके रीजन में कोई है, प्रयागराज में, आप प्रयागराज के हैं, प्रयागराज में कोई है जिनसे आपने बात किया हुआ है, कांटेक्ट किया हुआ है कि प्लीज कोई स्टेटमेंट चाहिए कांग्रेस की तरफ से, अपॉलॉजी के लिए? कुछ आया है सर आपकी तरफ? Okay, I think Anjani Mishra's screen has frozen, but we'll look to re-establish contact with him. Remember, Mishra is someone who's come forward and said that ever since his number was wrongly flashed on the screen behind Gandhi in that press conference, he's gotten lots of calls. He's saying hundreds of calls. He's saying that this has caused a huge issue for him, as we just said in that conversation. Our colleague Akanksha Swaroop takes over now. Let's go over to her.
Many thanks to you, Toya. With that, in fact, beginning this bulletin with the headlines first, that we are tracking at 12 p.m. sharp. As Rahul Gandhi taps into Gen Z anger over vote deletions, BJP has now hit back saying Gen Zs are against dynastic system and corruption. Be ready to leave the country. ICC to take action against Pakistan Cricket Board for multiple violations, including recording Andy Pycroft's video. A security breach reported at Acta and TVK chief Vijay's house. Intruder found on terrace. Vijay urges cops to take investigation case forward. Days after firing at Disha Patni's residence, Delhi's counterintelligence team has arrested 2 shooters a day after 2 were killed in a police encounter. After Spirit movie, now actor Deepika Padukone dropped from Kalki Part 2. Filmmakers say cannot afford 25% hike and 7-hour shift demand. Netizens in Delhi, Mumbai flock to Apple stores as iPhone 17 is now on sale. A scuffle breaks outside the BKC Apple store amid the rush. Despite facing several setbacks, fugitive Nirav Modi moves UK court against extradition, alleges lack of facilities, fears torture in India. Congress MP and leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, after the second round of his campaign against alleged vote theft, posted on social media in the evening that the students, youth and Gen Z of the country will save the constitution, protect democracy and stop vote theft. He added that he stands firmly with them. His use of the term Gen Z has now sparked a fresh political debate. This generation notably spearheaded protests in neighboring countries like Nepal, even Bangladesh, that ultimately led to the downfall of the ruling governments. In a sharp response, the Bharatiya Janata Party has hit back at the Congress, stating that Gen Z firmly opposes dynasty politics, corruption and ideological ambiguity, values they argue the Congress represents.
नेपाल में क्या नाम बांग्लादेश में और श्रीलंका में जो कुछ हुआ, वहां की जनता निकली और भ्रष्टाचार बेईमानी के खिलाफ लड़ी। लेकिन यहाँ के ऊपर कौन निकलेगा? यहाँ भ्रष्टाचार बेईमानी के लिए जनता नहीं निकलेगी। यहाँ के ऊपर यदि कोई निकलेगा तो देशद्रोही निकलेंगे। और याद रखो, यदि देशद्रोही यहाँ के ऊपर सड़कों पर निकलेंगे तो राष्ट्रवादी सड़कों पर दौड़ा दौड़ा कर मारेंगे, अगर इस प्रकार की किसी ने भी हिम्मत की।
So as you can hear, the BJP has already countered that appeal coming in from Rahul Gandhi. They are saying that the reasons that were applicable for to Nepal and even Bangladesh for the Gen Zs to take to the roads to protest against the ruling establishment cannot be applicable to India, is what the counter has come in from the Bharatiya Janata Party. Let's quickly go across to Payal, who will put this into perspective for us. Payal, as we question the intent behind that statement that's coming from the leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi, what is it that in fact is going to mark India as a democracy apart from, say, other countries which have experienced turmoil like Bangladesh or even, say, Nepal?
What we've seen pan out in Nepal is not, a strange fact to anybody, Akansha. We've seen what has really happened. And the fact that Rahul Gandhi has constantly said in his press conference yesterday that the youth, it is their responsibility to take care that the democracy is protected in this country. What is Rahul Gandhi really trying to imply? So there are two. Has come out and said that if something like this is to ever happen, then the anarchists will be taught a lesson, that they've never learned by the people of this country, by the righteous people of this country. On the other hand, Nishikant Dubey has also come out and said that if Rahul Gandhi is trying to instigate the youth like this, they must remember that the youth in Nepal were against the people who were corrupt and who did not, do well for the country. So in that case, he counted the entire Gandhi Nehru family's names, who would be under scrutiny, who would be under danger as well. So why is Rahul Gandhi trying to dig his own grave? So there is a lot of, reference that is being drawn from what Rahul Gandhi has essentially said. Because on one side, he said, it is my responsibility as the leader of the opposition to rake up these issues. At the same time, he made it sound like a favor that he's not doing anything that he should not really be doing. He's just trying to show a sense of direction to the youth of the country, which has not gone down too well. Immediately, parallels are being drawn given the fact that we've seen what has happened in Nepal not too long ago. So the BJP is going to be up in arms against Rahul Gandhi for having an anarchist kind of a mind.
Stay with me, Payal. Let me quickly bring in Sharon also on that note. Sharon, what is the defense that you are learning about from your sources within the Congress party? Any word coming in?
Well, we have to go through the strategy that the Congress party has in fact been doing for past few months altogether. They have been specifically targeting the social media. They have been going through all the social media apps where they are trying to reach out to the youth. This has in fact been a strategy of Rahul Gandhi's office for quite some time now. They are trying to connect with the youth on ground. They believe, if a youth or first-time voter is in fact influenced by what Rahul Gandhi is saying, that could be in fact beneficial to a larger extent to the Congress party. But this, of course, has not gone down well with the BJP. Clearly, after the post that was posted by Rahul Gandhi yesterday, where he was specifically asking Gen Zs to make sure that they are not, they are coming in support of democracy, they are coming in support of the Congress party. And at the time when we are seeing our neighboring countries like Nepal, Bangladesh, where we have seen a revolution sort of coming in, some youth which eventually had, led to an anarchical situation on ground. That all is, of course, is very dangerous, is what BJP is saying. Of course, strategy at one place, but then provoking or instigating is something that is being pointed out by the BJP at this point. We have, at the moment, Congress has not reacted. We have to see what they have to say about.
Stay with me, Sharon. Stay with me. Getting in breaking inputs on this very story. In fact, a reaction coming in from Union Minister Kiren Rijiju, who has gone on to slam Rahul Gandhi, saying the nation stands with Prime Minister Modi. The youth stand with Prime Minister Modi as well. That is a firm, in fact, reminder coming in from Kiren Rijiju to the Congress party and to the leader of opposition of the Lok Sabha. Let's also listen in to what Kiren Rijiju's had to say.
Just to divert and to cover up the failure of Rahul Gandhi's own elections and all his efforts, he cannot blame, he cannot target any other institution, or he cannot shift the focus to something else. And whatever the narratives Pakistan creates, same narrative is propounded by Rahul Gandhi and his company here in India. So we have realized in last so many years, whatever Rahul Gandhi and his left group speaks about and tries to create a narrative in India, same thing is found to be used by the anti-Indian groups and the elements in Pakistan. So that similarity we have found over the years.
All right, let's quickly go across to Arunima, who's also joining us on the broadcast. Arunima, I think the tail end of that entire soundbite that has come in from Kiren Rijiju is very significant, because he's drawing an analogy with anti-Indian groups, with groups which are pro-Pakistan. What does it speak of Rahul Gandhi? Will he now be viewed as anti-Indian when he's calling out for that kind of anarchy that we've seen ensue in Nepal and even Bangladesh?
See, BJP is targeting him consistently. George Soros is a name that is thrown at Rahul Gandhi time and again, and he's accused of taking in instructions from anti-India forces. If you recall, even when the last press conference he did, BJP very recently came out with the allegation that presentation was made in Myanmar. So there's nothing new in Bharatiya Janata Party targeting Rahul Gandhi over this allegation that he's speaking in a voice which is inimical to India's interest. But what could make it difficult for Rahul Gandhi supporters is a question that he was asked in the press conference, that how is he planning to take this forward? Is he planning to take his allegations to a court of law or take it to its logical conclusion by way of a police case? He said that saving democracy is not my job. That comment, I think, is something that has been seized by his opponents, also because of what we have seen in Nepal, where youngsters under the label of Gen Z took to the streets, burned down the parliament, burned down public property, and brought in complete anarchy. Rahul Gandhi's repeated appeal to the youth of India to take note of his vote chori allegations and take steps, that is being interpreted as something similar to the call of uprising that was given in Nepal, which resulted in complete anarchy there.
All right, Arunima, stay with me. Let me quickly play out some more reactions that have come in. In fact, the BJP has been very firm in maintaining that the Gen Z protesters have protested against corruption in other countries, and that's not the case in India. In fact, they've gone on to attack the Congress party for being dynastic and a party full of corrupt politicians. Listen in to the reactions that have come in.
राहुल गांधी के एक ट्वीट आया जिसमें उन्होंने जेंजी का जिक्र किया, भ्रष्टाचार का जिक्र किया, वोट चोरी का भी जिक्र किया और संविधान का भी जिक्र कर रहे हैं।
क्या गलत कर रहे हैं? क्या गलत कर रहे हैं? आपको पीड़ा है या सरकार को पीड़ा है? वोट चोरी हो रहा है, लोकतंत्र की हत्या हो रही है, चीरहरण हो रहा है, और जो बात आज राहुल गांधी जी या पूरा देश कर रहा है, हम कई साल पहले एफिडेविट पर देकर सबसे पहले आवाज उठाए थे। खुशी है कि आज देश उसकी बातें कर रहा है। तो लोकतंत्र को बचाने के लिए राहुल गांधी जी या देश का कोई भी नेता अगर आवाज उठाता है तो हम उसके साथ हैं।
बीजेपी की तरफ से और खास करके निशिकांत दुबे की तरफ से एक जवाब आया, इस पे उन्होंने कहा है कि जेनजी जो है भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ था, तो आखिर में राहुल गांधी का क्यों साथ देगा?
वो लोग कुछ भारतीय जनता पार्टी में होते हैं जो बोलने के लिए रहते हैं, इसलिए साथ देगा कि देश की संपत्तियों को नेपाल ने नहीं बेचा था, आपने बेच दिया। इसलिए साथ देगा कि 1 रुपया पर 10 लाख पेड़ आप बेच देते हैं, जहाँ के किसान भूखमरी के कगार पर खड़े होते हैं। इसलिए साथ देंगे कि आपने महंगाई और बेरोजगारी के इंतहा को पार कर गए। इसलिए साथ देगा कि आप 2 करोड़ रोजगार देने के वादे करके करोड़ों को बेरोजगार कर दिया, और लड़ाई के मैदान में रोजगार देने के नाम पर इजराइल में हमारे नौजवानों को भेजकर भी अपने पीठ थपथपाते हैं। इसलिए साथ देगा कि आपने देश को धोखा दिया है। इसलिए साथ देगा कि आपके रहते हुए देश की सीमाएं सुरक्षित नहीं है।
I urge all of you to join our Vote Chori signature campaign. Just as every vote counts, every signature counts, every one of your voice standing up for democracy, standing up for the constitutional values which we are fighting for our constitution counts.
All right, let's quickly go back to Arunima, who continues to stay with us. So, Arunima, you heard that appeal coming in from Priyanka Gandhi also, who's urging the youth to step forward and join their campaign against vote theft. At the same time, the Congress is, in fact, maintaining that their voter adhikar yatra, in fact, in Bihar has been extremely popular. What do you make of the BJP now turning around every narrative that is being stitched up by the Congress party when the Union Home Minister says it's not voter adhikar, it is Ghuspaitiya Bachao Yatra. On the other hand, you have Nishikant Dubey, in fact, taking pot shots at the Congress party for being a party of dynasts and corrupt politicians.
The Bihar elections is round the corner, and after that, Bengal and Tamil Nadu. So you will hear these shrill political voices, rhetoric as the election season approaches. But Rahul Gandhi's own supporters are a bit concerned. Why? Because initially it seemed that they were gaining the momentum in Bihar on the issue of incumbency, anti-incumbency, and putting Nitish Kumar on mat. But now that the entire narrative is shifting to vote chori and voters not getting their due, their names getting wrongly deleted, how much of a resonance does it have on the ground? SIR exercise, it hasn't seen the kind of public protest that perhaps Rahul Gandhi supporters were expecting. On ground zero, yes, there have been some concerns, but neither the Supreme Court has intervened for SIR, nor have we seen a groundswell against it. So then, is this focus on vote chori not taking the narrative as much as when they had said Constitution khatre mein hai? That narrative had really caught on and it damaged the BJP. But the concern now is that by appealing to Gen Z to take vote chori allegations seriously, are you also linking it with jobs? Are you also linking it with employment and their future? Because that Bihar supporters or Bihar Congress and opposition leaders feel that is the real issue there. Vote chori, vote theft, SIR, maybe a side issue.
But Arunima, do you think that Rahul Gandhi's accountability is also being put to question when, say, the likes of Anurag Thakur are also questioning him that if he's so passionate about this entire issue, why isn't he following it up with a formal complaint?
Well, there are some reports to suggest that what the Congress party feels is that if they go to court at this stage and if it is taken cognizance of, then matter being sub judice could be utilized as a excuse. That's what Congress leaders say. It could be utilized as an excuse to not take any steps. Already, we haven't really seen Election Commission take the first press conference of Rahul Gandhi very seriously. He was asked to give an affidavit. He refused to do so. The second presentation that he has made, Election Commission and CEO of Karnataka has said that we've already lodged an FIR. We've provided the details to the CID. So even on that count, there's not much action. But if they go to the court, then the sub judice argument could be utilized against Rahul Gandhi's charges. That's one concern. Second concern is that they want to keep this going. They want to continue to make this a talking point and not come to a stage where there's finality after approaching the court.
All right. Many thanks to you, Arunima, for sharing those inputs and for putting that entire controversy into perspective for us. Shifting focus over to the other big controversy. The ICC is likely to take action against Pakistan for violation of multiple tournament rules prior to their Asia Cup match against the UAE. That was delayed by the team to protest the world body's rejection of its demand to remove match referee Andy Pycroft. The ICC has shot off an email to the Pakistan Cricket Board citing misconduct and multiple violations discussions of the players and match officials' area protocol before the game held on Wednesday. Amid handshake row, former Pakistan cricketer Atiq Uzzama has levelled serious charges against the board recently. The 49-year-old has slammed the board for corruption over substandard kits of the Pakistani team during the Asia Cup 2025 clash against the UAE. We bring you a report.
Trouble mounts for Pakistan Cricket Board after its dramatic act of trying to hold the ICC to ransom. Now, cricket's world body has hit back. The ICC has shot off an email to the PCB accusing it of misconduct and multiple violations of tournament rules before the Asia Cup clash against the UAE. The charge sheet includes breaching the players and match officials' area protocol with Pakistan's media manager filming a closed-door meeting between referee Andy Pycroft, coach Mike Hesson and captain Salman Ali Agha. That meeting was meant to clear the air after the so-called no handshake row in the India game, but instead it escalated. The PCB threatened to pull out of the match unless their media man was allowed inside, and even pushed through filming despite ICC rules barring cameras in the player and match officials area. To avoid a boycott, the ICC reluctantly agreed, but the footage later surfaced online, fanning fresh speculation. Adding fuel to the fire, PCB issued a release claiming Pycroft had apologized when sources insist he merely expressed regret over miscommunication. Now, ICC is already seeking an explanation over the 1-hour delay of the Pakistan versus UAE match due to Pakistan's standoff and is now weighing disciplinary action. The PCB stands accused of defying warnings, flouting security rules and dragging cricket into controversy once again.
All right, Payal Mehta is joining me on the phone line with more details. Payal, apart from the violations that PCB is accused of, using or rather misusing Andy Pycroft's apology to their advantage, how is this now going to work out for the PCB? Is this now going to put them in a tricky situation further?
To begin with, our sources in the ICC very, very clearly just told us even yesterday, Akansha, that Mr. Pycroft did not apologize for anything related to the handshake. He just said in case if there was a miscommunication, I'm sorry for that as well. Because it is not his business to make the handshakes really happen. He's a match referee. His job is to make sure that the match is conducted, in a free and fair manner. That's essentially his job. Pakistan stands at violation at multiple levels, given the fact that Pakistan first filmed a meeting which should not have been filmed. Then they released a video in the media that should not have really been done. And then they released a statement about Mr. Pycroft's apology. Then they actually went on to assert motives to Mr. Pycroft, calling him pro-India and all of this. So it's not gone down too well. Of course, Pakistan had filed 2 complaints, with the ICC demanding action against Mr. Pycroft. But, as for the rules, they had to submit some proofs along with that, which they did not really do. And they've also cast aspersions on the conduct of the ICC as well, so it's not gone down too well. The ICC CEO has written to the PCB asking for an answer on this, and we're given to understand that action is being mulled for disciplinary reasons because, when a match is scheduled, unless otherwise there are reasons that are beyond your control, including natural reasons, there is no way in which the match can really be held ransom, and the board can be held ransom. It had to begin on time. But the tantrum that the Pakistanis threw and then later on came to the ground, that is also under investigation as well. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a very, very happy situation as far as Pakistan is concerned. Because should there be any sanctions, Pakistan which is going to be at the losing end in terms of money as well, because they need the Asia Cup money more than anybody else.
True, Payal. How do you, in fact, put this into perspective, the entire face-off that's ensued between the PCB and ICC? Do you think that by not bowing down to the drama and defiance of the PCB, the ICC has now, in fact, laid its own precedent that they will not be bowing down to such demands?
Agansha, one thing is very clear. The ICC is the apex body as far as the cricket world is really concerned. They have rules to go by. They have centralized, levels at which, the match referees are appointed to matches. They do not get changes of the whims and fancies of some countries who are already, allaying certain charges on the ICC as well. ICC has to be a fair and square body. They have to go by the rule book. That is exactly what they're doing. But the Pakistan authorities are misusing their position. And remember, the PCB chief is also the interior minister of Pakistan. So he's wearing multiple hats. And he's probably trying to bring in a lot of politics as far as this is concerned. There is no rule in the ICC book which really says that I have to shake hands with you, Akansha. It's just more of a convention which is there. It's not part of a violation of a rule that the Indian team has really done. So obviously the Pakistan side seems to be taking it a bit too far. And if they have any proof, against Mr. Pycroft, they have to
submit it before the ICC if they want stern action. But they've just been shooting and scooting and just trying to create a drama of sorts and probably create a sympathy card for themselves, which is exposing them even further.
Well, before I quickly let you go, for all the ultimatums and the pull-out threats, can the PCB actually afford to withdraw?
Nobody can really afford to withdraw when you've committed to a tournament. The PCB is trying to, in fact, cry foul over so many things, but they understand the money sanctions, and that is going to hurt Pakistan the most at this point. And given the poor economic situation of Pakistan, given the fact that nobody wants to come to Pakistan and play on their home ground, no big team would actually want to come and play to Pakistan and play on their home ground, given the security situation as well, Akansha.
All right, many thanks to you, Payal, for sharing all those inputs and for putting that into perspective. And with that, we're in fact slipping into a quick break. Stay tuned to CNN News 18 as we return with the latest.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Some more breaking news. US President Donald Trump reaffirmed his close relationship with Prime Minister Modi during a joint press conference with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer on Thursday, while expressing frustration that other Western allies continue purchasing Russian oil despite Washington's willingness to sanction even close partners like India. Trump says, and I quote, "I'm very close to India. I'm very close to the Prime Minister of India. I spoke to him the other day. I wished him a happy birthday. We have a very good relationship," unquote. He once again reaffirms good ties with India. Listen in to Donald Trump's reaction.
That the European nations were buying oil from Russia. And as you know, I'm very close to India. I'm very close to the Prime Minister of India. I spoke to him the other day, wished him a happy birthday. We have a very good relationship. He put out a beautiful statement too. But I said, I sanctioned them. China is paying a very large tariff right now to the United States. But I'm willing to do other things, but not when the people that I'm fighting for are buying oil from Russia. If the oil price comes down, very simply, Russia will settle.
All right, CNN News 18's Sanjay Suri is joining us live from United Kingdom at this point. Sanjay, we've seen off late Donald Trump has been speaking about his relationship with India. In fact, it started with when he posted on X that he shares a very special relationship with Prime Minister Modi and India. Now, once again, when he's in United Kingdom, in that press conference, he reiterated that. So can we say this is a major sign of thaw between India and United States as far as the tariff war is going on?
Well, it is certainly a thaw, but at the level of speech and at the level of communication, it hasn't spilled over yet into tariffs. It hasn't spilled over yet into any rethinking or revision of the decision on sanctions against India for oil imports from Russia. So we had the very pleasant communication reported to us on the birthday, very warm greetings, warmly reciprocated. And now that has been reinforced and reiterated at the press conference Trump held along with Keir Starmer at Chequers. Now, this again is emphasizing a willingness for good relations with India, underlining personal good relations with Modi. But India is waiting really for these to spill over into action and consequences where they matter. The 50% tariff stands. The decision to oppose India's import of oil from Russia stands. There's no move to reverse that. In fact, on the contrary, we have a move now from the US government to revoke the sanctions. India had been let off sanctions over the Chabahar port in Iran, and that is being revoked now, so that in 10 days' time, as of September the 29th, India will not have the advantage of that waiver of sanctions that India has enjoyed for a number of years. So the US has made that move against India apparent today. It was announced by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. So at the level of actions, this is what we are getting from the US. At the level of language, this is what we are getting from Trump. At some point,
Welcome back. India's Commerce Minister Shri Piyush Goyal has exuded confidence in the ongoing trade discussions with the United States. He affirmed positive progress and strong bilateral relations in an exclusive conversation with CNN-News18. He also said that both countries are heading in the right direction and remain hopeful for the future of the US-India trade relationship. Meanwhile, India's chief economic advisor, V. Anant Nageshwaran, has also spoken to us, echoing this optimism. He suggested that the 25% tariff imposed by the United States in August 2025 could be reduced to between 10% and 15% in the coming months. Both US and Indian officials are actively working to revive a stalled trade deal disrupted by US President Donald Trump's tariff policies, with hopes for a speedy solution.
यूएस के साथ डील थोड़ा शिद्दत से नहीं चाह रहे हैं आप, क्योंकि कायनात वहां काम करती हुई नहीं दिख रही? If I may ask you that.
आपको गलतफहमी हो रही है। बड़ी अच्छी सार्थक बातचीत चल रही है। अभी असिस्टेंट यूएसटीआर आके गए हैं, अच्छी चर्चा हुई है, ठीक दिशा में जा रही है और मुझे लगता है कि भारत और यूएस नेचुरल पार्टनर्स हैं, मित्र देश हैं। हम दोनों के बीच संबंध एकदम मजबूत है।
So you are hopeful of visiting Washington soon?
तो जब समय आएगा आपको बता देंगे।
Considering recent developments in the last couple of weeks and so on, I do believe, I have no particular basis to say so, and just my intuition, that the penal tariff will not be there beyond November 30th. I mean, it's not a statement of based on any concrete indicator or evidence. It's my hope that given the recent developments which we see in terms of both countries finding an off-ramp and reaching over to each other, and including the important negotiator being in India in the first 2 days of this week, I do believe that there will be a resolution in the next couple of months on the penal tariff and hopefully on the reciprocal tariff also.
Greetings from Abu Dhabi. Quickly, we caught up with Piyush Goyal ji on the sidelines, who's spoken on the US trade talks and the tariffs, as far as the tariffs are concerned. And Piyush Goyal very clearly saying that Dasha or Disha is in the right direction. That means that the state and also the direction of the talks is in the positive and it is moving forward to a fruition. I pointedly asked him whether or not he would be making a trip to Washington soon. And he was hopeful that that would also happen. But more importantly, he wanted to impress upon the growing Indo-UAE ties, which he said are only going to get stronger and stronger. And outside of oil and minerals, if they want to develop the relationship to 100 billion in the next 3 years, that's a tough ask, but a possible one and a doable one. That's what the stiff targets that have been set.
Now, the big stories we're tracking this hour: India's strategic gateway to Afghanistan and Central Asia. The Chabahar port in Iran is facing mounting challenges as the US has revoked sanctions exemptions previously granted under the Iran Freedom and Counter-Proliferation Act. The move, effective September 29, risks exposing Indian operators at the port of US penalties and raises serious questions about the future of one of India's most important regional connectivity projects. Remember, the Chabahar port is an ambitious project helmed by India and Iran. The port also emerges as a vital gateway for India's regional outreach and humanitarian efforts in the past. In 2023, it was used to send 20,000 tons of wheat aid to Afghanistan. Before that, in 2021, the port enabled the shipment of environmentally friendly pesticides to Iran as well. But important to highlight that the United States has now gone ahead to remove that exemption India was granted with regards to its own vested interests in the Chabahar port in Iran back in the year 2018. This was, remember, sanctions that were slapped under the previous Donald Trump presidency. And this time around, it's back as they have revoked that exemption. It is part of Washington's maximum pressure campaign against Iran. And this is bound to also have ramifications for New Delhi, given our own strategic and economic interests in the entire region. As far as Chabahar port is concerned, several Indian companies are also involved. And it is likely to hurt New Delhi's economic and trade ties, as well as also undermine India's overall position in the Central Asian region. Remember, in terms of connectivity, it's extremely crucial given that India is able to bypass the Guddar port or even Pakistan when it comes to connectivity through Afghanistan, which is why India's presence in the region is extremely significant, given it also counterbalances China's presence in the Arabian Sea, China's presence which is involved with Pakistan as far as Guddar port is concerned. So this is India's counter to China when it comes to Chabahar port. It's also bolstered maritime capabilities in the Arabian Sea for India, given that India and Iran are strategic partners as well. But how India navigates this revocation of the exemption is going to be extremely tricky, given that it's arrived at a very delicate time when the trade talks are moving in a positive direction with the United States. Shifting focus ahead of GST 2.0, which is now set to take effect on September 22nd, citizens are sharing their excitement. This aims to help middle class directly by increasing their savings. The reduction of GST has in fact been an early Diwali present for the citizens. Listen in to this report from CNN News 18's Yesha Kota.
Today we are with the Jaiswal family. They're a family from Mumbai. One is the working person, that's Pankaj Jaiswal. He is a chartered accountant. Apart from him, he has his wife, who's a housewife, and 2 kids. Speaking about the impact of GST on this family, we'll have a brief conversation with the couple and try and understand how this would impact. Sir, जहाँ हम बात करें GST का रोल आउट 22 सितंबर से जब हो रहा है, तो कई ऐसी डेली मर्रा की चीजें हैं, घर के सामान है, आने जाने की लग्जरी चीजें हैं, उस पे जीएसटी में एक चेंज देखेंगे, तो उससे आपको क्या लगता है कि घर का जो डेली बजट है, मंथली बजट है, उस पे कैसे क्या इम्पैक्ट हो सकता है सर?
हम लोग तो बहुत खुश हैं जब ये कमी, वी डिडंट एक्सपेक्ट दैट कि ऐसा हो जाएगा। और जनरली जो है 50 to 55,000 हमारा घर का बजट होता है, तो उसमें ग्रोसरी 20-25 हज़ार है, बाकी अदर देन ग्रोसरी मल्टीपल आइटम्स हैं, जो आप फूड्स वगैरह लेते हो, पैकेट फूड लेते हो, बाथरूम के भी आइटम उसमें सब आ जाते हैं। तो मैंने देखा कि बाथरूम के भी जो मेजर आइटम है आपका शैम्पू, टूथपेस्ट, ये सब चीज़ों पे जो है सोप पे जीएसटी कम हुआ है। तो जो चीज़ें लोग डिफर कर रहे थे, जैसे कैपिटल गुड्स की प्लानिंग, वो इस 4 महीने, मतलब ये जो नवरात्र से लेके 14 दिसंबर के बीच ना, आप देखेंगे उसकी बहुत ज्यादा जो है डिमांड और प्रोडक्शन दोनों बढ़ जाएगा, क्योंकि लोग खरीदेंगे और शादियों का भी मौसम इसमें आ रहा है।
एंड सर, जहाँ हम ये बात करें कि ऑफ कोर्स ये जीएसटी फेस्टिवल के टाइम पे आ रहा है, कुछ चीजें जो एक्सपेंसिव भी हो रही है, लेकिन आपको लगता है कि चीजें एक्सपेंसिव हो रही है उससे मिडिल क्लास को फर्क पड़ेगा, या जो मिडिल क्लास को फर्क पड़ेगा उस पे जो है गवर्नमेंट ने एक अच्छी छूट दी हुई है?
जो चीज एक्सपेंसिव हो रही है वो जनरली मिडिल क्लास का नहीं है। अभी मर्सिडीज की गाड़ी या ऑडी मिडिल क्लास की तो नहीं कही जाएगी। सिगरेट वगैरह है वो तो होनी ही चाहिए महंगी। सीन गुड्स जो
ओवरऑल एक एज अ फैमिली, लाइक एज अ ब्रेड अर्नर की बात करें तो आपको उसमें क्या आपके बेनिफिट्स दिख रहे हैं?
एक तो ब्रेड ही आपका देखो, ब्रेड पे कम हुआ है। बच्चे ज्यादातर जो है सुबह सुबह ब्रेकफास्ट बनाना होता तो ब्रेड खाते हैं, तो ब्रेड पे कम हुआ आपने बोला। तो दूसरा यूनिफॉर्म 2,500 रुपए का रेट तक में कम हुआ है ना अपना जीएसटी, तो यूनिफॉर्म का रेट्स कम हो जाएगा जो ईयरली है। पेंसिल्स के खर्च, स्टेशनरी के खर्च है वो कम हो जाएंगे। तो ये सारी चीजें तो कम हो गई। तो एजुकेशन में भी 5 से 10 हज़ार प्लस। आप इंश्योरेंस देख लो, आप इंश्योरेंस पे जीएसटी 0 हो गया। तो इंश्योरेंस तो आप फैमिली के लिए कराते थे ना, तो वो उस पर 0 हो गया। तो वो पहले था, तो वो भी एक सेविंग है। अगर फैमिली लेवल पे भी हर, चूंकि डेली नेसेसिटी एंड लाइफ नेसेसिटी की चीजों को टच किया है। मेडिसिन है, जैसे मेडिसिन में बहुत सारे मेडिसिन पे 36 टाइप का ड्रग्स पे 0 हो गया है। तो दवाई तो आप खरीदते ही हो, तो वो भी है। तो मतलब सेविंग है हर चीज को। गवर्नमेंट ने जो हमारे रोजमर्रा की चीज थी उसको टच किया है।
मैम, आपसे बात करें, जैसे सर ने एज अ अर्निंग मेंबर बात की, आप एज अ होम मेकर, आपका क्या पर्सपेक्टिव है? आपको ये जो बेनिफिट है जीएसटी का, उससे आपको कैसे फायदा होगा?
किचन में जैसे पनीर हो गया, छाछ हो गया, बटर हो गया, चीज हो गया, किचन बाथरूम के प्रोडक्ट हो गए बहुत सारे, जैसे टॉयलेट क्लीनर, ये सब चीज़ें जो शैम्पू वगैरह, डिटर्जेंट वगैरह, तो ये मैं पूरा बल्क में तो वैसे भी मंगाती थी, लेकिन अभी जो मेरा 11 महीने चलता था ना, अभी वो मेरा 12 महीने के लगभग में वो पूरा हो जाएगा। तो 1 महीने की मेरी सेविंग ऐसे ही दिख रही है कि बचत
12 महीने का खर्चा भी 11
महीने
से हो जाएगा।
हाँ, मैं तो बहुत खुश हूँ इससे, जीएसटी कम होने से तो मैं तो बहुत खुश हूँ। मेरे लिए बहुत बेनिफिट है। जो पैसे जो मेरे 2-3 हजार या 4 हजार जो भी बचेंगे उसको मैं SIT में डालूंगी।
And so with the new GST reforms kicking in from September 22nd, farmers across India are expecting a much needed financial breather. From cheaper tractors to reduced prices on essential inputs, the changes are being welcomed on ground. Here's a report.
Well, one of the biggest impacts of GST 2.0 is going to be on the farming sector. There's been a huge slash as far as many of the farm equipments like tractors, fertilizers, and even many of the products. Dairy will not going to invite paneer for that matter, no GST. There's going to be a lot slash fruits, vegetables. So it's a two-pronged strategy, and the strategy is to ensure, one, the farmers don't have to pay that huge amount of GST, so the infrastructural costs will come down. Second, that there's going to be a demand for their products, which means there's going to be happier. But are the kisan happy? Let me get a sense from speaking to them first. मैं पहले आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी, प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा दिवाली के पहले दिवाली, उन्होंने जीएसटी पे बहुत अनाउंसमेंट किए, खुश हैं आप?
मध्यम वर्गीय किसान है हम लोग इस सरकार के इस कदम से बहुत खुश हैं। और एक जो छवि कुछ समय से किसानों की बनाई जा रही है कि हम किसान सरकार विरोधी है, नहीं, हम केवल उन नीतियों का विरोध करते हैं जो हमारे फायदे में नहीं। अब किसान जो सरकार ने हमको ये जीएसटी के नाम पे तोहफा दिया है तो हम बहुत प्रसन्न हैं। हमें ट्रैक्टर पे 818 सीसी के ट्रैक्टर पे लाभ मिला है, हमें दूध पे जीएसटी घट गई, हमें फर्टिलाइजर्स पे जीएसटी घट गई है, खाद पे, बीज पे। हम लोगों की जो लागत थी खाद भी वो महंगा होता जा रहा था और हमारा माल जो बाजार में बिक रहा था वो कम दामों में बिक रहा था। तो किसान दिन प्रतिदिन मरता जा रहा था, किसान घाटे में जाता जा रहा था। पहली बार सरकार ने ऐसा किया है कि हम लोगों के बारे में सोचा है। आज हमारे जो संसाधन हैं उन पे छूट दी गई है, उन पे जीएसटी कम की गई है। जो हमारे पैदावार के सोर्सेज हैं, खाद बीज जो हैं, इन पर जीएसटी घटाई गई है। तो इस तोहफे से सरकार के लिए हम लोगों को एक मतलब जीवन के में ऐसा तोहफा मिला है कि हम लोग पुनर्जीवित हो उठे हैं इस चीज से।
क्योंकि आप मुझे एक बात बताओ, क्या फायदा होगा? क्योंकि बहुत सारा डिमांड होता है पदार्थ खानों के लिए, कहते हैं कि सब्जी वब्जी सस्ती हो जाएगी। जो डिमांड होगा, जो आप लोग जो अब खाना उगाओगे, जो सब्जी फल होगा, उससे आपको अच्छे मार्केट रेट्स मिलेंगे।
ये बहुत ही कल्याणकारी योजना है। पहले हमारी जो जीएसटी 28 और 12 थी, वो जीएसटी हमारे लिए बहुत हार्ड थी, और अब जो इसमें जो डाउन किया है, इससे हमें बहुत बड़ा लाभ मिलने वाला है। क्या लाभ मिलने वाला है कि हमारे प्रोडक्ट पे, ये कुछ प्रोडक्ट हैं, पनीर है, दूध है, और फार्मर्स प्रोडक्ट हैं, और स्वास्थ्य संबंधी दवाई हैं। मतलब जो रोजमर्रा में हम लोगों को बीमार, सबसे ज्यादा किसान ही जाता है अस्पताल भी, तो बीमारी में भी ये जितनी भी प्रोडक्ट दवाइयाँ हैं, इन पे सब पे जीएसटी जो बिल्कुल जीरो कर दी है, वो सबसे बड़ा कल्याणकारी है। और सबसे बड़ा कल्याणकारी ये है कि मोदी जी की योजनाओं के लिए धरातल पे थोड़ा कम परसेंट पे काम है।
मॉडर्नाइजेशन ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर, इस पे हमेशा से जोर देते आए हैं प्रधानमंत्री और कृषि मंत्री, सब लोग, सरकार भी। आपको लगता है कि जो से अभी तक ट्रैक्टर नहीं खरीद रहे थे, अब वो बोलेंगे चलो मैं ट्रैक्टर खरीद लेता हूँ, एक और खरीद लेता हूँ, और ऐसे मैं आप और जगह पे कर सकता हूँ?
जी मैम, हम लोगों के लिए जो ट्रैक्टर के लिए पैसा जुटा पाना एक बहुत बड़ी समस्या थी।
सकता हूं, लेकिन राहुल गांधी जी न वो मेरे संस्कार न मेरी पार्टी के संस्कार है, लेकिन देश के लोकतंत्र को आप धोखा दे रहे हैं। मैंने सदन में कई बार कहा है, संसद में कहा है, टीवी पर भी कहा है, आप लोग के सामने, जरा शांत रहिए, टीवी पर भी कहा है, आप लोग के सामने भी कहा, राहुल गांधी होमवर्क नहीं करते। लेकिन कल जो बोले हैं वो तो कमाल बोल दिए। आपने देखा होगा, उन्होंने कल एक प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस किया था, और उस प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में भारत के मुख्य निर्वाचन आयुक्त की बार बार तस्वीर दिखा रहे थे। चुनाव आयोग अपने को डिफेंड करेगा, मुझे कुछ नहीं कहना है। लेकिन जो ज्ञानेश कुमार आज से कुछ महीना पहले बने चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर, उनको 23 के चुनाव से आप उन पर आरोप लगा रहे हैं, उनकी फोटो दिखा रहे हैं, क्या मतलब है? और सबसे मजे की बात आप देखिए, तो मैं विस्तार से बताऊंगा, उसको आपके सामने बताना चाहता हूं। आलंद विधानसभा की बात उन्होंने कही। होमवर्क नहीं करते हैं ना। बीजेपी वहां 18 तक जीती थी, बीजेपी 23 में हार गई। जीता कौन? कांग्रेस पार्टी। कितने वोट से? 248 वोट्स। इलेक्शन पिटीशन हुआ, अभी कर्नाटका हाईकोर्ट ने वहां पर, जहां तक जानकारी मिली है, रीपोलिंग का आदेश दिया है। तो दे सकता है इलेक्शन पिटीशन। तो श्रीमान राहुल गांधी, जीता है आपका उम्मीदवार, हाईकोर्ट का डायरेक्शन हुआ है, और आप अपने ही उम्मीदवार की खटिया खड़ी कर रहे हैं। क्या कहा जाए? मिस्टर राहुल गांधी, have you lost all sense of purpose and propriety that in the 23 voting of Vidhan Sabha, your candidate won the seat. High Court is hearing a challenge against that election. You won by 248 seats on the BJP. Probably recounting has been ordered. और आप उसी पर हल्ला कर रहे हैं। इसके बारे में क्या कहा जाए? दूसरी बात, चुनाव आयोग ने आज विस्तार से कहा है, मैं सिर्फ उसको रिपीट कर रहा हूं, अखबारों में भी छपा है, कि जो भी शिकायत की गई थी कुछ वोटर के नाम डिलीट करने की, किसी पर्टिकुलर कम्युनिकेशन लिंक से, उस पर उन्होंने एफआईआर कर दिया है। एफआईआर कब हुई है? 2023 में। सीआईडी को जांच करने का अधिकार है 2023 से। 23 से किसकी सरकार है? कर्नाटका में कांग्रेस पार्टी की सरकार है। सीआईडी उनके अंदर में है। तो न होमवर्क करते हैं, न कुछ समझते हैं, तो अपने कैंडिडेट के चुनाव पर सवाल उठा रहे हैं, और अपनी पार्टी का जो काम करना है नहीं कर रही है। तो उनसे ना पूछें कि सीआईडी आपके अंतर्गत में है, पुलिस आपके अंतर्गत में, काम क्यों नहीं हुआ? बस चले आते हैं और सीधा खड़ा कर देते हैं। ये है श्रीमान राहुल गांधी। झूठ बोलना, गलत आरोप लगाना, तथ्यों को तोड़ मरोड़ कर प्रस्तुत करना, ये राहुल गांधी की फितरत हो गई है। और राहुल गांधी ने विपक्ष के नेता के पद को, की गरिमा को गिराया। आई रिपीट, Rahul Gandhi, by repeatedly making false, misleading, and mischievous allegations, has sought to lower the dignity of the leader of opposition. राहुल बाबू, आप कितना झूठ बोलेंगे? मैं थोड़ा डिटेल उसके बारे में आपको बताऊं। मैं आज कांग्रेस के लोगों से अपील करना चाहता हूं। एक बार मैंने सदन में कहा था, इनको कौन पढ़ा रहा है? इनका मास्टर बदल दीजिए ना। अपने तो होमवर्क करते नहीं है। इनका ट्यूटर कौन है? कांग्रेस वालों, अपने नेता का एक अच्छा शिक्षक रखो जो ठीक से पढ़ाए, उनको बताए क्या बोलना है, समझाए उनको। आज ये व्यंग करने की इच्छा है, बहुत रोचक है। एक बार एक पिताजी अपने बेटे को बहुत डांट रहे थे, क्या तुम करते हो, यही तुम्हारा मार्कशीट है, यही कुछ है। 2-3 थप्पड़ भी लगे, कुछ बोले, चुप रहो, बहस मत करो। बाद में उसकी मां ने कहा, ये मार्कशीट आपका है, उसका नहीं है, जिसके लिए आप उसको डांट रहे हैं। तो राहुल गांधी जी, ये सरकार आपकी है जिसने काम नहीं किया कर्नाटक में। सीआईडी इन्वेस्टिगेशन अगर नहीं हुआ तो जीता हुआ उम्मीदवार आपका था। उसको लेकर के कौन सा बम है? हाइड्रोजन बम ना, बताइए। ये है राहुल गांधी का हाइड्रोजन बम। तो इसलिए मुझे लगा कि अब उनको थोड़ा बताने की जरूरत है। देखिए, मैं आपको इतना बता दूं कि सीईओ कर्नाटका ने एसपी कालबुर्गी को 6/9/23 को सारा इंफॉर्मेशन दे दिया। 6/9/23 को याद रखिए। और जो सारे ऐप की बात वो कर रहे हैं, 6018 एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म 7 के बारे में तो दिसंबर की बात थी, जिसके बारे में कई ऐप VHA गरुड़ वगैरह वगैरह को लेकर के शिकायत थी। और इंफॉर्मेशन जो दिया गया उसमें फॉर्म रेफरेंस नंबर, ऑब्जेक्टर का नाम, एपिक नंबर, मोबाइल नंबर, ये सब दिया गया। मगर इलेक्शन कमीशन ने साफ साफ कहा है कि ऑनलाइन किसी का नाम डिलीट नहीं होता। अब देखिए, मैं आपसे एक बात पूछना चाहता हूं। सारा इंफॉर्मेशन दे दिया गया। सारा का मतलब सारा। सरकार किसकी? राहुल गांधी की पार्टी की। पुलिस किसकी? राहुल गांधी की सरकार की। कब फाइल किया? 23 में फाइल किया। चिल्ला रहे हैं 25 में। और इसका क्या जवाब दिया जाए? क्या जवाब दिया जाए? और जो मैंने आपसे बात बताई थी कि ये भी जानना जरूरी है कि बकायदे, मैं आपको बता भी देता हूं, जो इलेक्शन पिटीशन हुआ है कि जो कर्नाटका हाई कोर्ट में बकायदे इसका एक इलेक्शन पिटीशन पेंडिंग है। मैं उसका थोड़ा सा, हाँ, कर्नाटका उच्च न्यायालय न्यायमूर्ति R देवदास की अध्यक्षता ने कोलार जिले के मालूर निर्वाचन क्षेत्र का विरोध करने वाले कांग्रेस विधायक के वाई नेवेगौड़ा के चुनाव को 2 दिन पहले ही 25 को रद्द कर दिया और 2023 के विधान में डाले गए मतों को पुनर्गणना का आदेश दिया। ऐसा चल रहा है। अब देखिए, जागरण अखबार लाओ, मैंने सबों में छपा है, राहुल जो जानकारी मांग रहे हैं वो 2 साल पहले दे दिया गया। तो भाई, अगर आपकी सरकार काम नहीं करती है तो आप किस पर आरोप लगा रहे हैं? किस पर और क्यों आरोप लगा रहे हैं? मित्रों, हमारा स्पष्ट आरोप है 3, राहुल गांधी भारत के लोकतंत्र को योजनाबद्ध तरीके से कमजोर करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। क्यों? क्योंकि जनता उनको वोट नहीं देती, वो हार जाते हैं। और वो मानते हैं कि देश पर राज करने का पट्टा तो उनको ही चाहिए, परिवार को मिला हुआ है। तो समस्या, जनता उनको वोट नहीं देती तो वो क्या करें? इसीलिए वो 14 के मोदी जी के चुनाव को फर्जी मांग रहे हैं, बता रहे हैं, 19 को फर्जी बता रहे हैं, 24 को फर्जी बता रहे हैं। ये सब वोट की गड़बड़ी जीते हैं। राहुल गांधी जी, कृपया करके देश के मतदाताओं के विवेक का अपमान करना बंद करिए। राहुल गांधी, प्लीज स्टॉप abusing the democratic choice of the voters of India। 99 करोड़ वोटर है ना। अगर आपको वोट नहीं मिलता और आपकी करनी के कारण नहीं मिलता, और ऐसा करिएगा तो और नहीं मिलेगा। कृपया करके आप देश के मतदाताओं का अपमान करना बंद करिए। दूसरा, आपको याद होगा, उन्होंने कुछ समय एक बात कही थी कि मेरा स्टेट ऑफ इंडिया से लड़ाई है। याद होगा, बहुत चर्चा बनी थी। वो मोदी जी की सरकार से लड़ सकते हैं, स्टेट ऑफ इंडिया में तो पूरा देश आता है ना, सरकार आती है ना, मीडिया आता है, कोर्ट आता है। तो राहुल गांधी के बारे में क्या कहा जाए? वो चुनाव आयोग का अपमान करते हैं। नरेंद्र मोदी तो खैर छोड़ दीजिए, वो संसद का अपमान करते हैं, वो कोर्ट का अपमान करते हैं।
Taking inputs, in fact, Congress's overseas chief Sam Pitroda has now stirred the hornet's nest yet again, stoking a fresh controversy, saying that India's foreign policy must focus on its neighbors and maintain good relations. Taking a pro-Pakistan line, Pitroda has claimed that he felt like home when he visited Pakistan. This is the big admission or statement coming in from Sam Pitroda, who's saying that he felt like at home when he visited Pakistan. Let's quickly listen in to what he's said.
Our foreign policy, according to me, must first focus on our neighborhood. Can we really substantially improve relationship with our neighbors? They are all small. They all need help. They are all going through difficult times. And there's no need to fight. Of course, there is a problem of violence. Of course, there is a problem of terrorism, and all that is there. But at the end of the day, in that neighborhood, there is common gene pool. I've been to Pakistan, and I must tell you, I felt at home. I've been to Bangladesh. I've been to Nepal, and I feel at home. I don't feel like I'm in foreign country. They look like me, they talk like me, they like my songs, they eat my food, okay? So I must learn to live with them in peace and harmony. That's my first priority.
All right, so let's quickly go across to Shirin Elizabeth, who'll put that into perspective for us. Shirin, at a time when the Indian Prime Minister and the government of India have always maintained that there's going to be a new doctrine being followed when it comes to dealing with terrorism sponsored by Pakistan, especially after Operation Sindoor, where does this place not just Sam Pitroda, but all of Congress party?
Absolutely, and this is going to have a lot of repercussions and damage to the Congress party ahead of the elections in Bihar and also next year in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. And not the first time that Sam Pitroda has in fact made such a statement. We have seen certain remarks by him, be it saying that his seat was stopped at IIT Roorkee, which Education Ministry later went on to say that there is no IIT in Roorkee at all. So what is really Sam Pitroda pointing out at? Apart from that, he also in fact went on to say that there is no threat from China to India as being pointed out by the United States. There are several such statements, inheritance tax as well during the Lok Sabha election, which was one of the biggest issues that was taken up by the BJP at this point. So BJP has always been claiming that as far as Sam Pitroda is concerned, though he is one of the blue-eyed boy of Rahul Gandhi, but he is the one who has been damaging the Congress party time and again. And now this time saying that he felt at home in Pakistan is of course not going to go down well with the Congress. We have to of course see how the Congress party reacts to this statement. But right now we are already seeing BJP picking it up, attacking the Congress, saying that this is the person who is a close aide of Rahul Gandhi, who is a close aide of Gandhi family, and he is going on and saying that Pakistan is like a home to him.
It's interesting you highlight that this is not a first for Sam Pitroda, but what does stand out this time around, Shirin, is the timing of his comments. Could this further backfire for the Congress party, given that we are speaking on a day when Rahul Gandhi's own statements appealing to the Gen Z to step forward, bring about a movement, one that we witnessed similar to the one in Nepal or even Bangladesh? Could this further backfire? Because remember, the BJP is already labeled Rahul Gandhi as being anti-India.
Absolutely. At a point when Rahul Gandhi's statement is being picked up by the BJP, attacking Rahul Gandhi, saying that he's trying to instigate the youth of the country at that point of time, also highlighting, of course, how things have in fact been really bad in Nepal, Bangladesh and Pakistan. And Rahul Gandhi is pushing for anarchy-like situation in India is the claim that is coming in from the BJP. And simultaneously now, Sam Pitroda's statement is also going to be, of course, taken up by the BJP. They are going to, of course, attack the Congress party. But like I pointed out, Akansha, not the first time that Sam Pitroda has been, in fact, doing enough damage to the Congress party. There have been n number of times, n number of statements that have been made by Sam Pitroda. Time and again, the Congress party eventually comes out and says that this is...
I'm so sorry to interrupt you there, Shirin. Joined in by Pradeep Bhandari of the Bharatiya Janata Party on the phone line. Pradeep, your thoughts on what Sam Pitroda has just said about feeling at home in Pakistan?
Well, this tells you that Rahul Gandhi is nothing but the poster boy of Pakistan, but this is blatantly anti-national. Pahalgam terror attack was conducted by Pakistan. Post that, our forces gave a befitting reply to Pakistan and the Pakistan terror state in Operation Sindoor. After that, if you have Rahul Gandhi's close aide Sam Pitroda making a statement that he feels home in Pakistan, this tells you nothing but one thing, that the Congress party is not a patriotic party, it is an anti-national party, and it comes right from Rahul Gandhi. Recall a few days back, it was Shahid Afridi, ISI agent, praising Rahul Gandhi. So why is it that every anti-national, every pro-terror individual praises Rahul, and everybody near Rahul Gandhi loves Pakistan? Congress is nothing but an agency and a party which peddles Pakistani narrative in India, and this is what is out from Sam Pitroda's statement. What Mr. Pitroda has said has made it clear that Rahul and Congress party are nothing but a tukre Congress. It is a party which takes forward the agenda of Pakistan. What they said is blatantly anti-national.
Pradeep, what's your assessment of the timing of such a statement, given that just some hours ago, Rahul Gandhi has talked about how the Gen Z of India will bring in a movement similar to that we witnessed in Nepal or Bangladesh?
Well, all of this points a very sinister design, that is Congress party in the control of certain invisible foreign hand which wants to destabilize this country. And Rahul in the past has even said, if you recall, that he wants to fight the Indian state. So a man who wants to fight the unity and integrity of India will definitely align with forces which are anti-national. This is why he's aligning, and his sentiments are echoed by Pakistan. His close aides echo the statement of Pakistan, and you have him through his tweets giving indication and messages that he wants to follow a pattern which is being followed in different other countries globally, where street veto has been used to create democratic instability.
Is it fair for him to combine neighbors like Nepal and Bangladesh with Pakistan, given that these are neighbors that India has consistently looked after as part of its neighborhood first policy?
Well, we have excellent relations with them, but the larger point here is that Rahul Gandhi's close aide makes a statement that he loves Pakistan. Pakistan is a terror state. It is not for the first time. Few days back, it was Shahid Afridi who said that he loves Rahul Gandhi and Rahul is a great man. Why is it that a terror state supports Rahul Gandhi and close aides of Rahul Gandhi love a terror state? If this is not anti-national, what else is?
Many thanks to you, Pradeep, for sharing your insights and perspective with us. With that, let me quickly go back to Sharon. Sharon, taking that point forward that Pradeep was just making, he's also quoted what Shahid Afridi had to say when he was defending Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party. At the same time, connections with George Soros, how is this now going to work for the Congress party and its reputation, or rather at a time when, they are fighting very hard to win Bihar?
Well, the George Soros link is something that has been time and again pointed out by the BJP. Even, in the last press conference by the BJP, we have seen how it was pointed out that there is an external force through Congress that is trying to disrupt the democracy in the country. But time and again, the Congress party has refuted all these claims, saying that George Soros has no link to the Congress party whatsoever. When it comes to Shahid Afridi as well, the Congress party maintains that that's an individual opinion. Doesn't matter, it doesn't mean that he has some closeness with Rahul Gandhi. He just commented on someone's personality, and that doesn't show that Rahul Gandhi has some sort of a closeness to any such individual. But also,
right, but in the garb of, say, a common gene pool is what he has quoted. Can one justify the kind of terrorism that's being perpetrated on the Pakistan soil, that too given support by the Pakistani deep state? He's referred to having a common gene pool with Pakistan, a common culture, enjoying the same cuisine and music. How does one put this into perspective?
Certainly not, Akansha. It is going to be, of course, very difficult for the Congress party to defend the statement coming in from Sam Pitroda, especially after the kind of attack we have, ghastly attack that we have seen in April this year in Pahalgam. All this is not going to go down well with the Congress party. We have to see, of course, whether a statement will be released or not.
Many thanks to you, Sharon. We will keep coming back to you as and when more inputs come in, perhaps a statement from the Congress party. And with that, it's a wrap from my end. Thank you so much for watching. News and Updates continue with Shivani on the other side.
Let's take a quick check of the top stories we're tracking at this hour. As Rahul taps into Gen Z anger over vote deletions, BJP hits back, says Gen Zs are against dynastic system and corruption. Be ready to lead the country. Sam Pitroda of the Congress at it again, questions India's foreign policy, says India must focus on neighbors, claims he visited Pakistan and felt like home. ICC to take action against Pakistan Cricket Board for multiple violations, including recording anti-Pycroft video. Security breach at actor and TVK chief Vijay's house. Intruder found on terrace. Vijay urges cops to take investigation further. Days after firing at Disha Patni's house, Delhi's counter-intelligence team arrests 2 shooters. This a day after 2 others were killed in police encounter. After Spirit movie, now Deepika Padukone dropped from Kalki 2819 AD sequel. Filmmakers say can't afford 25% hike and 7-hour shifts. Netizens in Delhi, Mumbai flock to Apple stores as iPhone 17 is now on sale. Scuffle outside BKC store. Despite facing several setbacks, fugitive Nirav Modi moves UK court against extradition, alleges lack of facilities, fears torture in India. So Congress's overseas chief, Sam Pitroda, has stoked another fresh controversy, saying that India's foreign policy must focus on its neighbors. But it has also talked about how we need to take talks further with Pakistan. In what seems to be a pro-Pakistan line, he said he felt like home when he visited the country.
Foreign policy, according to me, must first focus on our neighborhood. Can we really substantially improve relationship with our neighbors? They are all small. They all need help. They are all going through difficult times. And there's no need to fight. Of course, there is a problem of violence. Of course, there is a problem of terrorism, and all that is there. But at the end of the day, in that neighborhood, there is common gene pool. I've been to Pakistan, and I must tell you, I felt at home. I've been to Bangladesh. I've been to Nepal. And I feel at home. I don't feel like I'm in foreign country. They look like me. They talk like me. They like my songs. They eat my food. Okay. So I must learn to live with them in peace and harmony. That's my first priority.
My colleague Sharon Elizabeth is joining us. Sharon tracks the Congress party very closely. Sharon, the problem with this statement once again is, as has been the criticism of Congress's policy, is that it's almost putting the onus on India to maintain good relationships, as if India is the problem in the subcontinent.
That's right. And not the first time that such statement has been made by certain leaders of the Congress party. They have, in fact, not just the Congress party, the National Conference leader, Farooq Abdullah, also have time and again pushed for a dialogue between India and Pakistan, which now has been made it very clear by the government that as far as the entire relation with Pakistan is concerned, it is going to be a new normal. But, the Congress party has been time and again pushing this narrative, and now this controversial statement that is coming in from Sam Pitroda is not going to go down well within the Congress as well, because this is enough damage ahead of the Bihar elections, ahead of the 2026 Kerala and Tamil Nadu election as well. Right now, there has been no statement that has been issued by the Congress party yet, but not the first time that Sam Pitroda has made such statement. He has said that there was an attempt to, in fact, hijack his speech at IIT Roorkee, to which Ministry of Education said that there is no IIT in Roorkee. There has been statement on the inheritance tax, there has been statement on China relations with India as well. So controversial statement time and again has been made by Sam Pitroda, and every time the Congress party, instead of taking any action, only says that they distance themselves from the opinion that has come from Sam Pitroda. So we are awaiting a response or a statement from Congress party this time, after this statement has been made by Sam Pitroda.
Yes, and this is precisely why you have instances where Pakistanis say they prefer a Congress government in India at the center. Just recently, in the aftermath of the India-Pakistan Asia Cup match controversy, Shahid Afridi, the former cricketer, had said that Modi is bad, but Rahul Gandhi is good. Now, Rahul Gandhi himself may not make some of these statements, but his party leaders continue to do so. And the image of the Congress party has become associated with being soft on Pakistan. Arun Dhata is also joining us. Arun, what it also does is it gives, more ammunition in the hands of the BJP. Already the public feels that Pakistan deserves much worse from India. And here you have Congress leaders coming out and saying that, we should try for better relationships as if we are the terror country.
Well, that's right. Sam Pitroda has once again given this opportunity to the BJP to really take on to the Congress party at large. We've seen even in the past that whenever Sam Pitroda has spoken, somewhere he has gotten that opportunity, given that opportunity to the BJP. Remember, he raised questions on Balakot strike from India side. That in fact, took up by BJP, and then we saw that how it was in fact penetrated in the masses. And the most recent one, when he talked about the inheritance tax in the country, that's something which also, of course, did not go down well with the Congress party leaders itself. Now, once again, when he is saying that he feels like home in Pakistan and Bangladesh, in Nepal, that's something, of course, which BJP has been very quick to take on. We are hearing responses coming from BJP leaders on social media, and especially at that point in time when every political party, especially Congress, BJP, and RJD and others, are very much focused on Bihar elections. So I think this is going to be a very, very problematic thing for the Congress party, as they have already faced multiple issues. Even in the past, whenever he has spoken, how Congress party is going to respond to this, what Sam Pitroda has said, because BJP, of course, making here a connection that he is the Congress party's overseas chief. He is very close to Rahul Gandhi. Whenever Rahul Gandhi goes out, he has always been seen on the side of Rahul Gandhi. So therefore, Congress party needs to give answer at this point, and that's what BJP is asking from them. So how this is really going to be taken up by BJP on a large scale, that's something which we'll see. And probably in coming few days, in the run-up to the Bihar election, you will be seeing some of the top BJP leaders mentioning this in their speeches. As yesterday, Amit Shah, when he was in Bihar, he raised questions on the voter adhikar yatra of Rahul Gandhi, calling it a yatra to protect the infiltrators. So if you have on one hand saying that this government is against the constitution, and you're trying to build up your narrative, on the other hand you have your leaders who are really talking about Pakistan and Bangladesh, calling that place your home, that you feel like home there. It's very difficult really for the Congress party to really go about it and justify these sort of statements of Sam Pitroda. And BJP, of course, has been very quick to react on such statements of Sam Pitroda, because they know that these are the matters. These are very sensitive matters, especially with Pakistan, with the people of India, and therefore when somebody who's close to Rahul Gandhi make such statement, this is really going to hit Congress party. So we'll of course have to wait for a certain official response from the Congress party side on this side. We have seen even in the past, whenever Sam Pitroda had made such statements, Congress' official line was that it's not their party's stand, it may be a personal, but by the time damage is already done, and probably this time around, BJP, of course, is going to take up this matter in the same manner.
Right. Arun, thanks a lot for joining us. Let's also listen into what BJP is saying on the entire issue.
Once again, the undying love of Congress party for Pakistan has come out. No wonder INC is not Indian National Congress, it is Islamabad National Congress. Uncle Sam, the closest ally of Rahul Gandhi, family friend of Gandhi family, high position holder in overseas Congress, says that in Pakistan and Bangladesh, where Hindus are murdered, Hindus are killed, he feels at home. This is the mindset of Congress party. The same Sam Pitroda finds that South Indians are Africans, Northeast Indians are Chinese, somebody is Arabic, but he finds himself at home in Pakistan, the same Pakistan that bleeds India. This love for Pakistan has been seen when Yasin Malik, a convicted terrorist, was used by the Manmohan Singh government to talk to Hafiz Saeed, another terrorist who did 26/11. And we got only terror attacks. No wonder they never took any strong action on Pakistan, because they love Pakistan. They feel at home in Pakistan. Look at the manner in which this Sam Pitroda has given clean sheet to Pakistan in various blasts, including 26/11 terror attack, in Pulwama, in Samjhauta. The Congress party has also done the same thing. The Congress party wanted to even talk to Pakistan, talk to terrorists in Pakistan. They gave most favored nation status and they mocked Operation Sindoor. They mocked surgical strike and Balakot airstrike. This is the same Sam Pitroda who divides Indians but feels at home in Pakistan. This is the same Sam Pitroda who does not live in his own home, India, lives in United States, but he feels at home in Pakistan and Bangladesh because Hindus are killed there probably. This is the mindset of Congress and Rahul.
BJP's IT cell head, Amit Malviya, has taken up the case of JKLF terrorist Yasin Malik's court affidavit, in which he has alleged that then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh of the Congress party thanked him for meeting Hafiz Saeed as part of back-channel talks, arranged allegedly by him at the behest of the Indian intelligence officers. This is a statement made by Yasin Malik in an affidavit filed in the Delhi High Court on August 25. This affidavit says that he met Lashkar-e-Taiba founder and 2611 mastermind Hafiz Saeed in Pakistan in 2006. The meeting was not his independent initiative, but was arranged at the request of senior intelligence officers as part of a back-channel peace process. After the meeting, then PM Manmohan Singh personally thanked and expressed gratitude to him. Remember, Yasin Malik is guilty of gunning down 3 Air Force personnel in uniform. BJP is now saying that if these new claims are true, they raise grave questions about the UPA's handling of national security and back-channel diplomacy. Let me first go across to my colleague Ananya. Ananya, tell us more of what this affidavit is all about. Why was this filed and why is he mentioning this period from 2006?
You know, it's a 85-page affidavit that's been filed by Yasin Malik, not before only the Delhi High Court, but also has been sent to the DG, NIA, and in fact the Tihar Jail superintendent in a sealed cover. Now, this document actually reveals that Yasin Malik has very categorically stated before, in fact, the Delhi High Court, that he had met, in fact, Yasin, Hafiz Saeed, the LET chief, on, in fact, the request of the then IB director, under the leadership of then Prime Minister Mr. Manmohan Singh. And in fact, after that meeting actually took place, this was in an attempt, in fact, to establish a black backdoor channel for diplomacy. And the then IB director had, in fact, arranged this particular meeting. And this meeting is something, after which he was thanked by the then Prime Minister, Mr. Manmohan Singh, is what, in fact, has been stated in this particular affidavit that's been given out by Yasin Malik before, in fact, the Delhi High Court, and also a copy of the same in a sealed cover has been sent to the National Investigation Agency and also, in fact, to the Tihar Jail superintendent itself.
Okay. Let me also go across to my colleague Arunima. These are some serious allegations. Arunima, are these things that were unknown completely earlier? We've known, some episodes of back-channel talks at that time under UPA come out in the public domain earlier as well. We've known the kind of climate that prevailed. Is this something that is new and shocking, or was this known to the establishment?
Not really, because this is not the first time that it has been revealed how Kashmir was part of back-channel talks and how Kashmiri players or actors, Zahur Batali, for example. Zahur Batali was a businessman. His name has been mentioned by Yasin Malik in this affidavit as well. Zahur Batali at one time was credited with initiating back-channel talks between India's Prime Minister and the Pakistani counterpart, helping them meet up to resolve the pending issues there. But subsequently, National Investigation Agency charge-sheeted Zahur Batali for funding terror, being hand in glove with Hurriyat and being hand in glove with the terror funding conspiracy that was going on. Yasin Malik also goes on to say that I have also traversed a long path, and he's mentioning various governments, not just Dr. Manmohan Singh, but previous governments all the way from the 1990s till 2000. So over 15 to 20 years, he's mentioning that my office has been used, or I have been used by the Indian government and the Indian establishment to resolve Kashmir. Dr. Manmohan Singh's meeting with Yasin Malik, and the context is because Hafiz Saeed after 2611, we all know he's a persona non grata, and that evokes emotions. So obviously Bharatiya Janata Party is underlining that part. But if you look at Yasin Malik's affidavit, he's making a larger point and trying to get that sympathy also going, that at one point I was used by the establishment, I was a state guest, but now I'm standing at the verge of getting a death penalty, because that is what the establishment's current outlook seems to be. But the Indian government under Narendra Modi is very clear. Yasin Malik cannot be forgiven. He's in jail because of the kind of murder allegations and kidnapping allegation that exists against him. And the current establishment is very clear that you will have to pay for your deeds.
Yes, in fact, let me go across to Ananya one more time. Ananya, this affidavit that Yasin Malik is filing today, he seems to be presenting himself as somebody who was useful to the Indian state. But the case against him is not that, right? The case against him is of killing Indian Air Force personnel.
Well, absolutely. Before, in fact, that particular case is before, in fact, the Jammu and Kashmir courts. But as far as the Delhi case is concerned, it's with regards to how he was somebody who was key and instrumental in funding terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. He was somebody who had, at one point of time raised armed rebellions. And in fact, his role as far as the exodus of Hindus, Kashmiri Pandits is concerned also comes to light there as well. So all of that was in fact the case against Yasin Malik, at least in the national capital, while in J&K it is with regards to the killing of 4 Air Force personnel and various other cases. But the prosecution has been very, very clear since the very beginning, whether it was before, in fact, the Patiala House Court when he was given, in fact, a life sentence, but not a death penalty. The prosecution has pushed for a death penalty, saying that he's somebody who has been responsible for the killings in Kashmir and for the terrorism that has, been there in Kashmir for a long while. He's not only funded it, but also was a clear and played a bigger part in instigating terrorist activities in the state of Jammu and Kashmir as well.
I do thank Ananya and Arunima for joining us. Getting up some more breaking updates. This is in connection to the Mysuru Dasara row. Supreme Court has now dismissed a plea that challenged the Karnataka High Court order regarding Banu Mushtaq's participation in Dasara celebrations. Ananya, can you tell us more about what has transpired?
Well, the Karnataka government had, in fact, invited Booker Prize winner Banu Mushtaq as far as the Dasara celebrations in fact, Mysuru are concerned. Following which, following this initiative by the government, there had been a petition that was filed before, in fact, the Karnataka High Court too dismissed it, saying that, it is against, it is not something that breaches, in fact, the Constitution's fundamental rights and principles. And similar has been the stand of the Supreme Court. Also, remember, this is a bench headed by Justice Vikram Nath, which has gone on to very categorically state that, to the petitioner that, read the, in fact, the preamble of the Constitution, and it's a government decision. How can the government actually differentiate between A, B, or C person is what, in fact, the Supreme Court said while dismissing the petition, though there were constant efforts being made by the petitioner before the Supreme Court to say that, this is an event that is completely religious in nature. It is regarding a puja that would take place. And this is something that breaches, in fact, Article 25 and 26 of the Constitution of India. But the Supreme Court paid no heed to it, said, no, this is not the case. And the petition was actually dismissed by the top of the country. Shivani.
Mm-hmm. So the petitioners had objected that, that the government shouldn't invite someone from the other religion for a function that pertains to one religious community. Is that so?
Well, absolutely. It was the contention of, in fact, the petitioners, because they say that this is, in fact, something that hinges upon their right to profess their religious activities under Article 5 and 26 of the Constitution of India. And this is also something, which breaches the kind of rituals that are performed during the Dasara celebration. And that is the reason why, a petition was first filed before the Karnataka High Court and then the Supreme Court, with both of them turning down the petition that's been filed by this particular petitioner.
All right, Ananya, I do thank you for joining us. We're getting some more breaking updates coming in now. In a CNN-News18 mega exclusive news break, we've accessed the video where Jaish commander accepts that they get orders from the Pakistani army. Masood Ilyas Kashmiri's revelation also has been that General Asim Munir ordered uniformed officers of the Pakistani army to attend Jaish-e-Mohammed funerals, which happened post-Operation Sindoor. In the video, he also accepts that Jaish-e-Mohammed is integrated into Pakistan's state army.
कि भावलपुर के अंदर के ताबूत निकलते हैं और इधर जीएच के उसे आर्मी चीफ ऑर्डर जारी करता है कि इन शुहादा के ताबूतों को सलामी दी जाए। कोर कमांडर इनके जनाजे में शरीक होगा, फजाइया इनके जनाजों पर पहरा देगी, आर्मी के जवान अपनी वर्दी के अंदर इनको सलामी पेश करेंगे। 25 साल सबर, हिम्मत, इस्तिकामत के बाद आज हम।
Let me also go across to my colleague Siddhant, who's joining us. Siddhant, break down more of what this video reveals and how it helps India also to make further case that Pakistani army and these terrorist groups, which they deny sometimes, then they feat sometimes, they can't be differentiated as India's current stated policy is.
Well, that's right, Shivani. In fact, this is something which India keeps reminding the international community time and again, that in Pakistan, the terrorist group and the Pakistani army are in hand in glove. And in fact, with each passing month since the Operation Sindoor, in fact, India has produced enough evidence, proof to prove this point. And now, in fact, 2 days back, we made the testimony of the top commander of Mohammed. And now, this video is brought to us by security Guddar. And in this video, Masood Ilyas Kashmiri, is confirming rather that General Asim Munir ordered uniformed officers to attend JEM funerals. In fact, in this video, he also accepts that JEM is integrated into Pakistan's state army. The army salutes to JEM terrorist militants to martyr status with Pakistan's military culture. This video confirms that terror is institutionalized in Pak army and creating an environment where strikes against them are strategically necessary. Kashmiri's speech was direct call for mass mobilization, Shivani, into Bihar, glorifying India-Pakistan conflict as JEM's achievement. He's providing ongoing radicalization and recruitment drive. So, once again, a testimony in public domain where JEM commander, senior commander, is accepting that how it was General Asim Munir who had ordered Pakistani army to attend the funeral of the terrorists after India struck down terror camps on 7th of May. Perhaps at that point in time when India produced evidence, videos before the international community, Pakistani army denied and they said that they had no role to play. They were not the terrorists, they were the civilians, etc., etc. All those things were said. Now, the Indian top commander is confirming, and it is once again proved, Shivani, that how closely Pakistani army works with these terror groups and supports them, backs them, funds them to unleash terror attacks in India.
Siddhant, thanks a lot for joining us. Moving on, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal has exuded confidence in the ongoing trade discussions with the US. He affirmed positive progress and strong bilateral relationships. In this exclusive conversation with CNN-News18, he also said that both countries are heading in the right direction and remain hopeful for the future of US-India trade.
यूएस के साथ डील थोड़ा शिद्दत से नहीं चाह रहे हैं आप, क्योंकि कायनात वहां काम करती हुई नहीं दिख रही? इफ आई मे आस्क यू दैट।
आपको गलतफहमी हो रही है, बड़ी अच्छी सार्थक बातचीत चल रही है। अभी असिस्टेंट यूएसटीआर आके गए हैं, अच्छी चर्चा हुई है, ठीक दिशा में जा रही है और मुझे लगता है कि भारत और यूएस नेचुरल पार्टनर्स हैं, मित्र देश हैं। हम दोनों के बीच संबंध एकदम मजबूत है।
So you are hopeful of visiting Washington soon?
तो जब समय आएगा आपको बता देंगे।
Considering recent developments in the last couple of weeks and so on, I do believe, I have no particular basis to say so, and just my intuition, that the penal tariff will not be there beyond November 30th. I mean, it's not a statement of based on any concrete indicator or evidence. It's my hope that given the recent development which we see in terms of both countries finding an off-ramp and reaching out to each other, and including the important negotiator being in India in the first 2 days of this week, I do believe that there will be a resolution in the next couple of months on the penal tariff and hopefully on the reciprocal tariff also.
Greetings from Abu Dhabi. Quickly, we caught up with Piyush Goyal on the sidelines, who's spoken on the US trade talks and the tariffs as far as the tariffs are concerned. And Piyush Goyal very clearly saying that Dasha or Disha is in the right direction. That means that the state and also the direction of the talks is in the positive and it is moving forward to a fruition. I pointedly asked him whether or not he would be making a trip to Washington soon. And he was hopeful that that would also happen. But more importantly, he wanted to impress upon the growing Indo-UAE ties, which he said are only going to get stronger and stronger. And outside of oil and minerals, if they want to develop the relationship to 100 billion in the next 3 years, that's a tough ask, but a possible one and a doable one. That's what the stiff targets that have been set.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Some more breaking news. US President Donald Trump reaffirmed his close relationship with Prime Minister Modi during a joint press conference with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer on Thursday, while expressing frustration that other Western allies continue purchasing Russian oil despite Washington's willingness to sanction even close partners like India. Trump says, and I quote, "I'm very close to India. I'm very close to the Prime Minister of India. I spoke to him the other day. I wished him a happy birthday. We have a very good relationship," unquote. He once again reaffirms good ties with India. Listen in to Donald Trump's reaction.
That the European nations were buying oil from Russia. And as you know, I'm very close to India. I'm very close to the Prime Minister of India. I spoke to him the other day, wished him a happy birthday. We have a very good relationship. He put out a beautiful statement too. We have, but I said, I sanctioned them. China is paying a very large tariff right now to the United States. But I'm willing to do other things, but not when the people that I'm fighting for are buying oil from Russia. If the oil price comes down, very simply, Russia will settle.
All right, CNN News 18's Sanjay Suri is joining us live from United Kingdom at this point. Sanjay, we've seen off late Donald Trump has been speaking about his relationship with India. In fact, it started with when he posted on X that he shares a very special relationship with Prime Minister Modi and India. Now, once again, when he's in United Kingdom, in that press conference, he reiterated that. So can we say this is a major sign of thaw between India and United States as far as the tariff war is going on?
Well, it is certainly a thaw, but at the level of speech and at the level of communication, it hasn't spilled over yet into tariffs. It hasn't spilled over yet into any rethinking or revision of the decision on sanctions against India for oil imports from Russia. So we had the very pleasant communication reported to us on the birthday, very warm greetings, warmly reciprocated. And now that has been reinforced and reiterated at the press conference Trump held along with Keir Starmer at Chequers. Now, this again is emphasizing a willingness for good relations with India, underlining personal good relations with Modi. But India is waiting really for these to spill over into action and consequences where they matter. The 50% tariff stands. The decision to oppose India's import of oil from Russia stands. There's no move to reverse that. In fact, on the contrary, we have a move now from the US government to revoke these sanctions. India had been let off sanctions over the Chabahar port in Iran, and that is being revoked now, so that in 10 days' time, as of September the 29th, India will not have the advantage of that waiver of sanctions that India has enjoyed for a number of years. So the US has made that move against India apparent today. It was announced by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. So at the level of actions, this is what we are getting from the US. At the level of language, this is what we are getting from Trump. At some point, this disconnect will have to end.
All right, Sanjay.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Some more breaking news. US President Donald Trump reaffirmed his close relationship with Prime Minister Modi during a joint press conference with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer on Thursday, while expressing frustration that other Western allies continue purchasing Russian oil despite Washington's willingness to sanction even close partners like India. Trump says, and I quote, "I'm very close to India. I'm very close to the Prime Minister of India. I spoke to him the other day. I wished him a happy birthday. We have a very good relationship," unquote. He once again reaffirms good ties with India. Listen in to Donald Trump's reaction.
That the European nations were buying oil from Russia. And as you know, I'm very close to India. I'm very close to the Prime Minister of India. I spoke to him the other day, wished him a happy birthday. We have a very good relationship. He put out a beautiful statement too. We have, but I said, I sanctioned them. China is paying a very large tariff right now to the United States. But I'm willing to do other things, but not when the people that I'm fighting for are buying oil from Russia. If the oil price comes down, very simply, Russia.
Team India, led by Surya Kumar Yadav, will face Oman in their final group stage clash of the Asia Cup 2025 in Abu Dhabi on Friday. Having already sealed a spot in the Super Fours, India enter the game with confidence but will also see it as an opportunity to sharpen their batting unit ahead of the crucial rematch against arch-rivals Pakistan on Sunday. Openers Abhishek Sharma and Shubman Gill will be eager to capitalize on this chance. While Abhishek has provided brisk starts, Gill would want to spend more time at the crease to convert his starts into a big knock. Skipper Surya Kumar Yadav, who looked fluent against Pakistan, will hope that youngsters like Tilak Verma also get valuable batting time. On the bowling front, Gautam Gambhir and the management might consider resting Jasprit Bumrah, though the ace pacer may prefer to keep his rhythm intact with just a 4-over spell. Should Bumrah be given a breather, Arshdeep Singh could return to the 11, having missed out so far due to India's preference for batting depth. For Oman, the challenge will be monumental. Their batting has looked fragile with scores of 67 and 130 in their first two matches against Pakistan and the UAE. Not a single batter has crossed the 30-run mark. Facing India's quality spin duo of Kuldeep and Varun alongside fiery pacers, the task appears daunting. If Oman are asked to bat first, there is every chance the game could be wrapped up early. However, spinner Kuldeep Yadav stressed that no opponent can be taken lightly in T20 cricket, praising Oman as a spirited side.
नहीं, काफ़ी अच्छी टीम है उनकी। T20 फॉर्मेट में कोई छोटी बड़ी टीम होती नहीं है, पहली चीज़ तो ये है। और ये गेम बहुत तेज चलता है, तो आप कितनी जल्दी अडेप्ट करते हैं कंडीशंस को, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट। बट ऑब्वियसली ये टीम बहुत एक्सपीरियंस इनफ है कि कैसे चीज़ों को टैकल किया जाए, और बहुत सारे प्लेयर बहुत एक्सपीरियंस हैं। ऑब्वियसली बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है कि उस चीज़ को मेंटेन करना, और हम कोशिश करेंगे कि अपनी जो इंटेंसिटी है मैच गेम की वो बहुत उसको मेंटेन रखें।
This will also be India's first game in Abu Dhabi during the tournament. The contest also serves as a brief break from the recent controversies surrounding India's refusal to shake hands with Pakistan players in the aftermath of the Pahalgam terror attack. For Surya Kumar Yadav and his men, the Oman match provides a chance to fine-tune their form, maintain winning momentum, and step into the Super Fours high on confidence.
Trouble mounts for Pakistan Cricket Board after its dramatic act of trying to hold the ICC to ransom. Now, cricket's world body has hit back. The ICC has shot off an email to the PCB accusing it of misconduct and multiple violations of tournament rules before the Asia Cup clash against the UAE. The charge sheet includes breaching the players and match officials' area protocol, with Pakistan's media manager filming a closed-door meeting between referee Andy Pycroft, coach Mike Hesson and captain Salman Ali Agha. That meeting was meant to clear the air after the so-called no handshake row in the India game, but instead it escalated. The PCB threatened to pull out of the match unless their media man was allowed inside, and even pushed through filming despite ICC rules barring cameras in the player and match officials area. To avoid a boycott, the ICC reluctantly agreed, but the footage later surfaced online, fanning fresh speculation. Adding fuel to the fire, PCB issued a release claiming Pycroft had apologized when sources insist he merely expressed regret over miscommunication. Now, ICC is already seeking an explanation over the 1-hour delay of the Pakistan versus UAE match due to Pakistan's standoff and is now weighing disciplinary action. The PCB stands accused of defying warnings, flouting security rules, and dragging cricket into controversy once again.
Well, politics has erupted in India after Pakistan and Saudi Arabia signed a strategic mutual defense agreement in Riyadh, stating that any attack on one will be considered an attack on both. The Congress party has expressed serious concerns over this deal, calling it a major setback for Narendra Modi's diplomacy and warning of grave implications for India's national security. Congress leader Jairam Ramesh also highlighted recent tensions, noting that US President Donald Trump hosted Pakistan's Field Marshal Asim Munir, whose statements were linked to past terror attacks in India, further complicating security concerns. The Defense Pact signals closer military ties between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia, raising regional security questions as well.
प्रधानमंत्री का 75th बर्थडे बुर्ज खलीफा में बहुत ब्यूटीफुली मनाया गया। मोहम्मद बिन सलमान ने भी, यानी सऊदी अरेबिया एक और खाड़ी देश है, जिन्होंने उनको विश किया। काफ़ी हमारी अच्छी दोस्ती है, लेकिन आज वहाँ एक डिफेंस कोऑपरेशन पाकिस्तान के साथ है, तो ये इस रीजन में कुछ खलल तो नहीं पैदा करेगा इन टर्म्स ऑफ ट्रेड इक्वेशंस, रिलेशंस, आपसी म्यूचुअल संबंध?
मुझे इसकी ज्यादा जानकारी नहीं है, मैं तो अपनी मीटिंगों में था यूएई में
जी,
पर इतना जरूर कह सकता हूँ कि भारत के संबंध यूएई के साथ बड़े मजबूत है और कोई भी इस संबंध को खराब नहीं कर सकता या अफेक्ट नहीं कर सकता। भारत के संबंध हर देश के साथ अच्छे हैं, हर देश के साथ अपने पायदान पे खड़े रहते हैं और इसकी ज्यादा जानकारी तो फॉरेन ऑफिस से लेते हैं।
My colleague Siddhant is also joining us. Siddhant, MEA had already, of course, talked about this deal. They said that they will study the implications. What are the worries as far as the Indian mind is concerned?
Shivani, this cooperation between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan is nothing new. This has been going on since 1970s. And in fact, there is already the presence of Pakistani army in Saudi Arabia. Now, how India is looking at this particular agreement, and definitely India has already came up with a statement saying that they are still studying this agreement perhaps and how this agreement has an impact on India's security and national interest. But having said that, this particular agreement is nothing but a culmination of different existing defense cooperation between the two countries. And it is more symbolic, I would say, and also a win-win for Saudi Arabia because A, they will get soldiers to fight against the Houthi rebels. B, they got the nuclear insurance, perhaps, which they have been looking for from a very long time. So any which ways, all these Gulf countries come under the United States security umbrella. So this agreement, perhaps happening between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan, cannot be happening without the consent of the United States. So, to expect that Saudi Arabia tomorrow would be, helping Pakistan against India, or for that matter, again India, hit terror camps in Pakistan, so Saudi Arabia will come to rescue Pakistan. Perhaps it doesn't look that way. Indeed, Pakistan wants that to happen, and Pakistan have been pushing the entire region to have a Islamic NATO kind of a set-up agreement so that, Pakistan can provide security and can sell their army, their soldiers to these rich Gulf kingdoms. And in return, Pakistan could get money, investment, etc., etc. Also, there is an angle to it, Shivani, that the United States is deeply interested in exploring rare earth and oil fields in Pakistan. So perhaps that could also be the possibility that jointly Saudi Arabia and United States could enter Pakistan to explore rare earth and oil reserves. Perhaps that could also be some kind of a back channel understanding which had been made between the two sides before signing this agreement. So
Right now, it looks symbolic, and it is not directed towards India as far as Saudi viewpoint is concerned, because they themselves clarified that we have a good relations with India, and we believe in taking those relationships forward. As far as India-Saudi relations are concerned, it includes IMAC, includes economic cooperation, deep economic cooperation, sovereign wealth fund, investments in India. So there's a lot between India and Saudi Arabia. So right now India is studying the implication it could have on India's national security, etc. But so far it looks symbolic, and this cooperation is nothing new that it has been announced for the first time. This has been going on for a long time. It's only they have signed an agreement for now, which says that attack on one country would be considered as an attack on both the countries. That's the clause which has been added.
Okay. Siddhant, just stay with me. We also have another story that is developing that is, of course, concerning for India. India's strategic gateway to Afghanistan and Central Asia, the Chabahar port in Iran, is now facing challenges as US has revoked sanctions exemptions previously granted under the Iran Freedom and Counter-Proliferation Act. The move, effective September 29, risks exposing Indian operators at the port to US penalties and raises serious questions about the future of one of India's most important regional connectivity projects. Let me go back to Siddhant with more on this. It's a very ambitious project from the very start that has been helmed by India. What concerns can this sanctions exemptions removal bring?
Well, definitely, Shivani. So the Shahid Beheshti port terminal on Chabahar port perhaps is something which India has been developing from the long time. And in fact, last year there was a fresh agreement also which has been signed between India and Iran to develop Shahid Beheshti terminal. Now in 2018, the exemption was granted to India to the Chabahar port project for the and this was under Iran Freedom and Counter-Proliferation Act for Afghanistan reconstruction and assistance and economic development. So now this sanction was granted for the economic development of Afghanistan, etc., etc. Now this sanction, this exemption, I beg your pardon. Now this exemption has been revoked by the United States because the United States have to say that the cheap Iranian oil is being exported from this port, and perhaps it is helping Iran build missiles, etc., against the United States and Israel. So that is what they have to say. But also the fact is that India, there are multiple operators on this port. One of the operators is India Ports Global Limited, IPGL, which runs the Shahid Beheshti terminal. So now, since the exemptions have been revoked from 29 September, so any operator working on Chabahar port will come under the US sanction. So definitely it's a trouble for India, and perhaps it's also strategically important. It's a counter to Pakistan's Guddar port, which is being run by China. So India definitely has plans, and in fact, in the past, Shivani, there have been many times when India sent and used this route to send relief and assistance to Afghanistan.
Siddhant,
so
what cannot be missed in this entire scenario is the fact the US is still continuing to kind of mount pressure on India using every tactic in the book. This is one of those tactics, isn't it? Even as we are engaged in a trade negotiation, there is a tariffs issue, there is this whole Pakistan issue.
Definitely, Shivani. And in fact, the policy of the Trump administration is not very, very clear. Indeed, they have agreed to come to the tables. Their defense officials were here. The trade negotiator was here. Prime Minister Modi spoke to President Trump, etc., etc. But in fact, you see, yesterday, the Indian nationals, their visas were revoked by the US Embassy here in New Delhi, who were allegedly involved in fentanyl trade. And now the Chabahar port sanction exemption has been revoked. So definitely, you rightly said that many are looking at this particular development with a view that it could also be to put pressure on India. Having said that, Shivani, this is also very important to put things on record that since 2019, India has stopped buying Iranian crude. India has changed its entire crude import from Iran to Russia and to the other countries. So India has not been buying crude from Iran. All India was using Shahid Beheshti Terminal. One, as I said, that it's a strategic location, counter to China's Guddar port in Pakistan, and also it's a gateway to the Indian Ocean. And time and again, India has very constructively used this port for humanitarian assistance to be sent to Afghanistan. So that is something also which US government should take a note of. So it's not fully operational yet. And it's not that India is doing some kind of a trade on a routine basis from this terminal. But as I said, it's a strategic terminal. India has been developing it. New fresh money investment has also been pledged. So definitely, it would really be interesting to see that how India is going to navigate this challenge.
Siddhant, thanks a lot for joining us. So the new GST reforms are kicking in from September 22. Farmers across India are expecting a much needed financial breather. From cheaper tractors to reduced prices on essential inputs, the changes are being welcomed on the ground.
Well, one of the biggest impacts of GST 2.0 is going to be on the farming sector. There's been a huge slash as far as many of the farm equipments like tractors, fertilizers, and even many of the products. Dairy will not go to invite, paneer for that matter, no GST. There's going to be a lot of slash, fruits, vegetables. So it's a two-pronged strategy, and the strategy is to ensure, one, the farmers don't have to pay that huge amount of GST, so the infrastructural costs will come down. Second, that there's going to be a demand for their products, which means there's going to be happier. But are the kisan happy? Let me get a sense from speaking to them first. मैं पहले आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी, प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा दिवाली के पहले दिवाली, उन्होंने GST पे बहुत अनाउंसमेंट किए, खुश हैं आप?
मध्यम वर्गीय किसान हैं हम लोग इस सरकार के इस कदम से बहुत खुश हैं। और एक जो छवि कुछ समय से किसानों की बनाई जा रही है कि हम किसान सरकार विरोधी है, नहीं, हम केवल उन नीतियों का विरोध करते हैं जो हमारे फायदे में नहीं। अब किसान जो सरकार ने हमको ये GST के नाम पे तोहफा दिया तो हम बहुत प्रसन्न हैं। हमें ट्रैक्टर पे 818 सीसी के ट्रैक्टर पे लाभ मिला है, हमें दूध पे GST घट गई, हमें फर्टिलाइजर्स पे GST घट गई है, खाद पे, बीज पे। हम लोगों की जो लागत थी खाद भी, वो महंगा होता जा रहा था और हमारा माल जो बाजार में बिक रहा था वो कम दामों बिक रहा था। तो किसान दिन प्रतिदिन मरता जा रहा था, किसान घाटे में जाता जा रहा था। पहली बार सरकार ने ऐसा किया है कि हम लोगों के बारे में सोचा है। आज हमारे जो संसाधन हैं उन पे छूट दी गई है, उन पे GST कम की गई है। जो हमारे पैदावार के सोर्सेज हैं, खाद बीज जो हैं, इन पे GST घटाई गई है। तो इस तोहफे से सरकार के लिए हम लोगों को एक मतलब जीवन के में ऐसा तोहफा मिला है कि हम लोग पुनर्जीवित हो उठे हैं इस चीज से।
क्योंकि आप मुझे एक बात बताओ, क्या फायदा होगा? क्योंकि बहुत सारा डिमांड होता है पदार्थ खानों के लिए, कहते हैं कि सब्जी वब्जी सस्ती हो जाएगी, जो डिमांड होगा, जो आप लोग जो अब खाना उगाओगे, जो सब्जी फल होगा, उससे आपको अच्छे मार्केट रेट्स मिलेंगे।
ये बहुत ही कल्याणकारी योजना है। पहले हमारी जो GST 28 और 12 थी, वो GST हमारे लिए बहुत हार्ड थी, और अब जो इसमें जो डाउन किया है, इससे हमें बहुत बड़ा लाभ मिलने वाला है। क्या लाभ मिलने वाला है कि हमारे प्रोडक्ट पे, ये कुछ प्रोडक्ट हैं, पनीर है, दूध है, और फार्मर्स प्रोडक्ट हैं, और स्वास्थ्य संबंधी दवाई हैं। मतलब जो रोजमर्रा में हम लोगों को बीमार, सबसे ज्यादा किसान ही जाता है अस्पताल भी, तो बीमारी में भी ये जितनी भी प्रोडक्ट दवाइयाँ हैं, इन पे सब पे GST जो बिल्कुल जीरो कर दी है, वो सबसे बड़ा कल्याणकारी है। और सबसे बड़ा कल्याणकारी ये है कि मोदी जी की योजनाओं के लिए धरातल पे थोड़ा कम परसेंट पे काम है।
मॉडर्नाइजेशन ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर, इस पे हमेशा से जोर देते आए हैं प्रधानमंत्री और कृषि मंत्री, सब लोग, सरकार भी। आपको लगता है कि जो से अभी तक ट्रैक्टर नहीं खरीद रहे थे, अब वो बोलेंगे चलो मैं ट्रैक्टर खरीद लेता हूँ, एक और खरीद लेता हूँ?